Hey, what is happening? We're off to a good start today. Hey, happy Monday, everybody. 6:02 in the Rose City. Hi, porn. I don't think your microphone's even plugged in over there, buddy. See that little cord dangling right there? That's got to be plugged into something. Maybe up on top of the microphone? Yeah, it looks like up here. See that little piece right there? There you go. Evidently, our microphones couldn't beat the heat this weekend. Did we learn that the hard way? The AC cranking. Well, good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. Sprague is here. He tried to get you the hype horn and a 6:02 in the Rose City, but for some reason his microphone is unplugged, and we just realized that starting the show. But let me give you there it is.
Does it work now?
I can hear you. Do you read
me?
Do you copy?
That's
a delightful start for a Monday.
I can't begin to tell you how much I'm going to murder people in this building.
Who do we want to blame for that one? Who do we think's guilty for that?
Who would unplug the microphone?
That's a great question,
You literally
Bob.
have to actually try to unplug the microphone.
Do we have any Sunday shows now? I know we have Sports Saturday.
We only have Sports Saturday. So right now, Joe
Fisher.
Why would you unplug the microphone?
There might have been a Timbers game over the weekend, though, so you might look.
Why would they unplug the microphone? They use the microphone.
I don't know. I was also here on Saturday, but don't blame me because I wouldn't touch your microphones. I wouldn't do that to you. I wouldn't do that to another Brandon. I would not do that to you.
That's Brandon on Brandon crime, but we can't have that around here.
What a amateur operation.
Can we ask how concerned Brandon was, Brandon number 2, when that moment happened? Were you thinking that was user error on your
regard? I did think that was my fault. I always take it as my fault first, and then you pointed that out, and then I took a big sigh of relief.
I don't want to throw him under the bus.
It's an immediate panic. Like, oh, God, what did I screw up on the board?
When you were out, he had the board off when I was supposed to hit the hype horn. I just looked at him, and he looked at me, and I'm like,
and then he gave me that same look.
Board's got to be on, buddy.
Hey, we need something here. I need some audio. I got nothing. I got no snare in my headphones.
I like to believe that I'm pretty easy, laxed going compared to a lot of people in our industry, but like when you unplug my microphone,
that's a pretty big red flag right there. That's
I'm
a pretty big
lose
no-no.
my S.
That's a pretty
There's
big.
Really, no excuse for it.
No, not having an operating microphone. We don't need a lot of things in order to do our jobs. There's we're easy going. We're here as long as we're in the studio. Yeah, you just need a microphone and headphones. That's all you need. Other than that, we could probably get through the show without anything else. But without a microphone, you're kind of screwed on that one.
I'm already off to a rip-roaring start of my laptop's not recording audio for some reason the way it always does. So now I got to go to the settings. I have no idea what's going on in these settings. And then I tweak with it. It doesn't work. And then finally, right as the show
hey, you got it.
Open starts, it works.
We're good to go.
For no stupid reason. I didn't change anything. And then my microphone's unplugged. How's your Monday? Mine's off to a rip-roaring start.
Other than all of that, it's off to a great start.
I'm in a bad mood now.
Isn't it funny how quickly that happened?
Oh, I've had a great day so far. Yeah. I had a really weird, odd sports dream.
Vibes are feeling good. What's going on in the dreams?
The dream was odd.
It was a weird one last night?
I don't even know why or if I should tell you. But
I need to know now. You can't give me that tease and not tell me what the weird sports dream was.
So we all lived together on Langdon Farms.
Okay, like all the hosts?
Yeah.
Okay.
But like
we're hanging out, just moved into the red shed?
Basically, yeah.
Okay, got some cots and some blow-up mattresses in there.
But there's a big swimming area.
Oh, that's cool.
And people can pay to come swim on the golf course.
Okay.
But you could still golf. And the usual...
they should do that. Let you jump into the lake off of 9 and 18.
The usual visitor is Joe Cronin.
Joe Cronin stops by?
And everybody in the red shed was giving him the hot takes if he should be fired. And then we found out Joe Cronin lost somebody in his family.
Oh, then we all felt bad?
And he was sobbing while he was crying.
Oh,
and then we all felt bad.
We all wanted him fired, and then somebody died. That's not good.
And then I gathered everybody together, and I said, guys... we should get Joe Cronin a great sympathy grief gift. And Isaac said, I'm not paying anything for it.
It sounds pretty realistic.
And then Patrick was just like, I could hear him, but he wasn't, I couldn't understand what he was saying.
He's kind of giving you a muffled voice.
Yeah, he's like, and then you just wanted nothing to do with it. And you said you had 4 holes to go play.
I was listening to the boys this morning.
And so I was stuck trying to.
I mean, don't let me finish my round here before we start like consoling Joe Cronin on the loss of his family member. Can I finish my last 4 holes, please? Is that too much to ask when I'm out at Langdon Farms, beautiful Langdon Farms?
A grief gift is an interesting thing to think about too. By the way, I'm just like. Does anybody buy a grief gift for somebody? Is that a thing?
I think the grief gift is your time and the ability to like, hey, I'm there if you need me. That is the gift. Although nobody ever really takes you up on that when something like, hey, call me if you need anything. Let me know if you need help with anything. You usually don't end up getting a call or needing any sort of help. I feel like that's the idea of the grief gift. It's not buying somebody something because they don't need anything in that moment. It's the thought of your time.
But there is an idea that like if you got somebody the right gift, it'd be like, oh, actually, it's kind of cool. It takes my mind off.
Does it distract? What's the gift that I could give you of a close family member dying that I buy you that makes you feel better? Because I don't think there is one.
So I'm not going to say who it was that he lost, but let's just say
in your dream. Do you specifically know who it was in the dream? He talked about it. Okay.
I feel weird saying it.
Don't say
real
that.
And
don't say that. Let's not put anything out into the universe.
Let's just say it's somebody very close to you.
Yes, this is my point. I don't think there's anything you can buy him to get over it.
Now. Counter, let's use me as the example here to make it all better.
You lost a family member.
I lost my parent. Okay?
Okay.
If you came in...
what can I buy you for when this happens?
Say I was out for like 3 shows.
Yeah, you're going to miss some time.
Because I'm like, what am I really doing? You know what I mean? There's no judgment here either way.
Yeah.
But I have thought about this scenario. If I lost a parent, I'm grieving.
Yeah, you need to take some time.
Yeah, but also like, I have a limit of like, what am I going to do on the 3rd, 4th day of this? I'm going to wake up and cry all day? I want a distraction.
I totally get it. The only thing about that scenario is how much stuff you might have to do out of it. Like how many things are you calling? How many things are you cleaning out?
But we're off at 10.
That is true. You got the rest of the day. I know. I'm just saying that I do think there's a big like dump of workload that falls on your desk in that moment that also maybe helps mask a little bit of the grieving because you're constantly busy dealing with stuff.
But like walk me through this. So if I lost a parent, I'm dealing with my grief. I come back and you, for whatever reason, you say, I'm going to get Sprague a grief gift.
I got a little grief gift waiting right here on the desk for you when you return.
Dude, if you told me you got me a round at one of the courses at Banton...
Wait.
Not a stay.
Not a stay.
Not any vouchers for
any round of golf at Bandon
Just
Dunes.
one round, and you basically are saying, Sprague, if you can figure out your stay...
What time of year are we talking?
Summer. So about $300 gift.
Jesus, man.
I'm just saying.
That's an expensive gift.
It is an expensive gift.
That would distract you for long enough?
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah.
The idea of going down to Bandon?
You've now got me jacked for about half my day. Half my day is, oh my God, my parents gone. Oh. The other half is, damn, I got banned in like 4 months.
Now, do you want me to like actually book the tea time, or am I getting you like a gift card to Bandon to
it's
pay?
It's like a gift card.
Okay.
It's an open-ended gift card.
Whenever you get down there, you have the money to go pay for a round of golf.
Although you're quite a jerk. You've already left me with more work. I've had to deal with my parent.
I mean, I don't know what your schedule is. You got stuff going on with the kids? Yeah. I can't plan a weekend for you. I don't even know what I'm doing next weekend.
It's a very dark conversation to have, but I'm legitimately asking, how long do people miss work for the death of a parent?
I don't know. It's a good question.
It's
I think
a
lot of
very odd conversation to have, but I've been thinking about this.
This is a very morbid way to start the show, Brandon Sprague.
Well, my mic being dead was also a morbid way to start the show.
Your microphone was dead. Now we're just hoping nobody else is dead this morning.
This isn't my fault. This is either Timber Fan or the Saturday show.
You're having dreams about people dying. Let's get some good mojo going here. Okay, let's put some good energy out into the world.
This is either Fletcher Johnson, Joe Fisher, or Rashad Taylor's fault.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good
Unless
bet.
Isaac thought it was diabolical to unplug it and they didn't use this mic over the weekend.
But if there's a Saturday show, which I'm assuming there was, then there was a Saturday
show. So they used
show.
this
I'm
mic.
betting Fletcher because the Timbers had a game also.
Fletcher Johnson, you're now on our S list.
Does Fletcher Johnson have his own microphone that he plugs into something that I don't see?
He's got a play-by-play mic that he brings in on his own.
Is he afraid that this mic will be hot
could be.
while it's off, so he unplugs it to make sure he can say whatever he wants to say? Because I saw our Timbers lost over the weekend.
They did lose again.
So, is he cursing off air and doesn't want this microphone to pick it up and get hot?
In all reality, that's not a bad strategy, because if there's a way to get taken down in the radio industry, a hot microphone is like 98% of the reason we will eventually get fired.
Oh, you know me, dude. When we talk off the air,
shove them away.
Push this microphone away from me.
Shove them away. All it takes is one disgruntled. We love you, Brandon. By the way, it takes one disgruntled producer to be like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna pop that thing on during a commercial break. You won't even notice."
Yeah. I would not do that at the start of the week. I would do that like on Friday.
Yeah, by the time
we
grinded your gears all week, like, dude, screw these guys.
That'd be your last, like, see you later. Hey, I'll take that over you driving your car into our building with explosives.
Dude, how wild was that story?
Here's the crazier part. Well, it's not crazier than that. There's nothing crazier.
No, that was pretty nuts.
Here's a crazy offshoot of that story. So I had Saturday late morning-ish, because it happened like, 3 a.m. Saturday, right?
I think so. That sounds right.
So I didn't wake up and instantly get into the news cycle. I woke up and I kind of got my day going. The wife and I had to run some errands, and then I had basketball games over the weekend, and my daughter had to play in them.
Right.
So we're out at Riverside High School for our basketball tournament, and I go out there and I see, our dear leader of Meadow Park, Marshall Cho. He's like, "What's up, Coach? You ready to coach?" I'm like, "I am, Coach."
Ready to coach, Coach.
And then he introduces me to another coach, and this coach is coaching a MAC youth club team.
Oh.
I hadn't seen the story.
So you didn't know what was going on?
Had no idea.
Yeah.
This gentleman's very nice, super outgoing. We're having a ball conversation.
Yeah, just talking hoops.
And then I saw this after, and I'm almost wondering, did he see the story about the MAC
Did
club?
he know or not know? He had to have known.
He had to have, but
if
he
you're
didn't
coaching,
bring it up.
Yeah.
Don't you bring this up?
I'd imagine if you're associated in any way, shape, or form with the MAC club, you would have gotten some sort of an announcement that, hey, by the way, we're going to be closed for a while. So if you're planning on coming, or if you have any sort of event over here, not going to transpire today.
Well, yeah, that's
we have
why
a bomb squad in our garage right now. You're not getting into the club today.
Well, but all his youth teams were at our tournament, unless
so
it's a different MAC. But I assumed it was the MAC. I think the jersey said MAC Athletic Club.
That was absolutely wild. We used to play tournaments there all the time when I was a kid.
Yeah,
I don't know if we had a friend who was a guy on the team who was a member over there. I can't remember exactly why.
Talk about a staple of Portland,
dude. Their gyms are fantastic too. Of like all the gyms you could go play in as a kid hooper, that was decently high on the list. I always look forward to playing over there. This is one of the reasons that you just try and be nice to everybody, man. I don't know the full backstory. It sounded like the guy was obviously dealing with some issues. He was chasing after members. That was a report that came out. Like he was stalking people who were members of the MAC club. Dude, to drive it into the garage through the barriers, then ends up like that was one of the wilder stories.
Could have been way worse too.
Dude, I know a guy who got the access to the security footage somehow. I don't know how. It was on a group chat. Somebody worked there. I have no idea.
Wait, did they send in the security footage?
No, but I ended up talking to him. I was like, why didn't you send that to like DM TMZ for a couple $1,000s? They probably would have paid for it. That thing was all over the news.
Okay, fair thing to ask. Also, what happens if they find out you're the one who sent it in?
He doesn't work there. I don't even know how he got access to it, to be honest.
That's crazy. He doesn't work there and got access to it.
I didn't ask the follow-up of, like, how did you get it? He was like, yeah, that was in a group chat of a buddy of ours in the morning, and it wasn't even on the news yet. It wasn't even known. And then, like, 2 hours later, the thing was all over social media, and you could not avoid it.
Yeah, once I saw it, I was like, whoa.
Yeah. Then you can't unsee it at that point.
No, you got to read about it.
Dude, did any of the bombs go off?
The reporting I saw, and I haven't followed up yesterday, it seems like it didn't.
Yeah, but that was my thought as well.
There was obvious damage.
Well, he drove through, yeah.
Well, yeah, but also it seemed like there was fire damage.
Oh, okay.
But like the bomb just didn't go off.
So he lit something on fire, but not a full-size bomb.
Let me see if I can get a follow-up on this.
Can you imagine if all those would have gone off in the Mac Club basement?
No,
that thing
I
got
can't.
taken down.
I can't.
What would have happened to our Timbers, too? That would have affected the Timbers.
Yeah, because it's right next to the stadium.
That thing's right there, man. You look out over the field.
Yeah, this one's from OPB. This one just basically talks about, he's a 48-year-old guy who clearly was going through some mental health stuff.
No doubt about it.
Let's see. Drove via the ground floor, attempted to set off explosions. Most of them failed to detonate.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's at least one positive out of the story if you're looking for any sort of silver lining on a Monday.
He died in the car. That's right. The car had flames, but the bombs didn't go off, and he died.
Jesus,
it's going to remain closed for at least a week. As
dude.
Working to repair the damage.
Where does Mac Club membership rank as a status symbol in Portland? How high on the list is that?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Like, if you meet somebody and they tell you they're a member at the Mac Club, you immediately are like, oh.
I think you live in the hills.
Yeah. Like that's a high up status symbol.
You live by the Martini house.
That in certain country club memberships, you just look at them and like, okay, either you got a lot of family money or
Waverly and Mac Club.
What are you doing for work?
Waverly and Mac Club, two status symbol things that you could say to me, and I'd go,
oh damn,
you've had a nice life.
How's that for a grieving kid when your parents say, you want me to get you a Mac Club membership? You want to drive down there and use the gym?
Now, if my parent perishes and you give me a Math Club athletic
what are we talking on
membership, I'm pretty stoked.
How much does that cost a month?
I don't want to pretend to know. I don't want to pretend to know.
I just know it's not cheap. That's all I know. I mean, every time walking around there as a kid playing some sort of sporting event, just like, Jesus, dude, this is another tax bracket.
Now let me counter my grief gift to you. Okay.
Yes.
So. In any scenario, you lose somebody close to you. Let's just say it that way.
According to Google AI, $6,000 down payment and about
how much is
$250 to $350 a month.
That's actually not that bad. Anywhere near what I thought it would be.
It seemed like in my head it was a lot higher than
I was having like $20K down payment.
But that's $6,000 per member of it. So if you join with your wife, that's $12,000, and if you have 2 kids, it's like $2,000 for kids.
But we know country clubs that charge more than that.
Yes, we do on a monthly basis for sure.
So you lose somebody close to you. Mm-hmm. I know, like, from the end of the life to the funeral part, it would be quite the process and time, right? It's not a turn and burn situation.
Right.
What would you think if I got you a grief gift of a round at Bandon, but also I said you need to use it in the next 3 weeks?
It's only good until the end of April.
Now it's a grief gift burden.
Wait, what do you mean? So what if they don't have it? Like, what? Now I got to call?
Dude, I don't even know if the funeral's going to be in 3 weeks.
What if I can't miss the funeral?
Well,
you can't put a timestamp on it like that.
Just say it. Like, what if it goes from a great gift to suddenly like, now it's a burden on me.
I don't want to have to deal with this.
Right.
We're getting somebody said maybe you could buy him a nice continental breakfast. There you go. How's that? Is that a good grief gift? Somebody said, Dirt, you could just buy me a bunch of hookers and blow. That's a good way to go. I mean, hey, if you're looking for a way to get over losing somebody close in your family, that's not a bad way to do it.
That's one way to, I guess, grieve somebody. It's a lot of cocaine and hookers.
I think the grief gift, too, like, it depends on how the person dies.
Have you ever given a grief gift?
I've never given a grief gift.
I've never even thought about getting somebody a grief gift.
I think, like, if it's somebody who is older, like we have a death in the sports world today.
Like, I don't know why if I had a dream
that's a really
about
weird
getting
dream.
the general manager. Well, I read a lot of Placer stuff this weekend.
Reading about all those juicy rumors.
So it was more like, is he going to pull the trigger?
Can he pull the trigger?
I don't know.
How split are we going to be when that trade happens, too, by the way? Just yelling at each other. What are we doing?
I think we're going to be... We're already split based on what the Reddit comments and social media showed me.
Every candidate that was thrown out this weekend was like, nope, can't do it. Nope, not going to do it. Nope, don't want him. Nope, don't want anything to do with him.
There's no timeline that makes sense for that guy with our youth.
You know what we should do?
You mean our 5-game gentleman sweep youth?
Roll it back is what we should do. We do this to ourselves.
Air to us that kind of says we really might, and I wouldn't be overly shocked.
We do this to ourselves all the time, where we desperately want them to take a big move, and then the big moves are mentioned, and everybody's universally against the big moves that could be made, and then we get pissed when they just run it back for another year.
Yeah,
you can't make us happy.
We live in a really weird circle and cycle of fandom, don't we?
We absolutely do.
The draft capital's good. But I play this fun game because I text with media members in the market all the time about, like, who should they go for, why this, why that. And the funny thing is I'm always like, well, what's the package? And they're like, Jeremy, fill in the blank, pick. And I'm like, why would that team want Jeremy? And it's almost always a silence, like,
are you sure they want him?
And I'm always, like, people
are you sure that's a part of that trade?
So.
You got to get somebody who wants to take on that contract in the other way.
I guess, man.
I don't think you're going to be able to do that.
Yeah. The grief gift. If you give me a round of Bandon and I lose somebody super close to me,
I'm going to remember that.
That's
hold on to that one down the road. Many, many years from now, whenever something does happen.
If something happens, God forbid it happened to one of us, but
round of Bandon's not bad.
I mean, that's
not bad.
Solid, like, dude, thanks. You get my mind off this. Now I get to think about that round a little bit.
Now it's a day trip down there.
Now you're making it a guy's weekend is really what you're going to do.
You don't even need to find a place for me to stay. I've driven down and driven back in the same day and played Bandon before.
Dude, the replay rate at Bandon, if I get you that first round.
Now we're talking here.
Now it's discounted.
Now that second 18, all of a sudden, is not a full $390 or whatever it is.
Exactly.
In peak season.
Grief gifts. Give them more consideration, and I certainly will after that dream. It is a loaded show today. We got a lot to get to.
Hello.
We had some dud game 7s.
We did.
We have Blazer rumor mill stuff. We're going to dive in, and we'll do it and get it going next. Dirt and Sprague on 105.1 The Fan.
A Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, 3 Game 7s across the NBA and NHL yesterday. The Pistons knock off the Magic 116-94 to complete their comeback, down 3-1 to win the series. Cade Cunningham, 32 points, 12 assists. Cavaliers beat the Raptors 112-102 to win that series. Jarrett Allen, 22 points, 19 rebounds. Pistons and Cavs in the Eastern semifinals starting Tuesday. In hockey, the Canadiens only had 9 shots on goal and still outlasted the Lightning in Game 7, 2-1. They move on to play the Sabres in the Western semis starting Wednesday, in the Eastern semis starting Wednesday. And also the Avalanche beat the Wild 9-6 in Game 1 of their Western semifinals. The 15 combined goals is the 3rd most ever in an NHL playoff game. I'm Brandon Henson from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
This is the Fan Sports.
All right, welcome back in. Dirt and Sprague with you on 105.1 The Fan. So Dirt and I were talking during the break, and we've concluded we agree on this. There might be a real odd vibe of what just transpired. Went a little longer there, and then we had like an update randomly fire off.
Yeah, if you're a P1, you're like, hey, wait a minute, this doesn't sound the way it's supposed to sound.
Yeah, no.
They got their stopwatch out like, wait.
Hey, excuse me, what is happening right now?
They haven't gotten to the bottom of the hour yet.
No.
Look, we appreciate all the P1s, 2s, 3s, 5s, 4s. Doesn't matter to me. We love that anybody that listens. Check us out on the podcast. You name it, we love you. But we're just shaking things up a little bit in terms of how we're structuring the show.
That's it. It's a little bit different.
It. There's nothing that's not good. That's not bad. It's a new way of doing things. That's all, baby. So
yes, it is.
We'll have fun with you to start the show and every top of the hour, and then you get your nice Brandon Henson update.
If you were worried that maybe you had like an aneurysm or something, like, wait, what? No, it's not you. It's us.
Still half asleep. Like, wait a minute.
Yeah, I'm so confused right now.
Radio can be a really weird world sometimes. Like the things that you would think are not a big deal to discuss on the radio end up being sometimes the biggest deals. And this was one we wanted to talk about last week, but they were like,
y'all don't say that.
They were like, shh, shh.
It's a surprise.
And I'm just like, you know what? I'm watching this play out, and I can imagine. So, yeah, just to give you an idea, a little peek behind the curtain, that's what's going on. But we are here hanging with you on a beautiful Monday morning. If you missed the open, we talked about grief gifts. Do you get grief gifts to people? I quite enjoyed all the grief gift ideas that people had at the fan text line 503-864-6326. What do you get a grief gift for the Orlando Magic?
A made shot for Game 6 so you don't blow a lead and you score more than 8 points at home with a chance to close out an 8-1 upset in the first round of the playoffs. That was like a perfect encapsulation of Orlando, was it not this season? A little bit of a flash where you're like, hey, this could. Oh, no. Yep. All right. That ended the way that I thought it would.
How did they lose Game 6?
They scored 8 points in the fourth quarter and missed 25 consecutive shots?
Didn't they only make
4 shots
in the entire second half?
I mean, that was absolute insanity. I saw the final score and I'm like, wait a minute. 8 points in the fourth quarter, and then you dig into the numbers behind it, and they just can't hit. That was their problem all year. Outside of Desmond Bane, nobody on that team can really shoot, and it bit them in the ass in the worst possible moment, and then they laid an egg in Game 7 on the road.
That is one of the worst playoff halves of my entire life. In fact, I'd have to go look because I didn't read any articles that told me truly where it ranks all time.
All time. 23 in a row has got to be some sort of a record. 23 straight missed shots. Like Houston is the only other team that I can think of. What was that, Game 7 against Golden State years ago in the conference finals? But I don't think it was 23 straight shots. I thought it was threes. Like they didn't make a three in the last 3 quarters or something crazy. Orlando legitimately missed 23 consecutive shots.
I mean,
our Game 7 collapse against the Lakers was what, 14 in a row? When we blew the 16-point lead, 13 or 14 in a row, something like that.
I think it was 14 in a row, missed shots.
I feel like I remember that number because it's scarred in my brain at this point.
Yeah.
That's like 23 in a row?
That's unbelievable.
Not anybody can luck into hitting the bank and make it. Like, seriously? With a chance, by the way, it's not Game 1 or Game 2. That's Game 6. And you got the lead, and you're up in the series 3-2. You just need one semi-competent quarter of basketball, and you close out, what would it have been, the third 8-1 upset or fourth? Like, those are so rare in the NBA, and it was right there for them, and they just peed down their leg when they needed it most.
So I got this story up, this one from Josh Robbins. Now, this was on the 3rd. The NBA has existed for 79 years. What happened Friday night had never happened before.
So all-timer.
After a 24-point lead early in the third quarter of Game 6, the Pistons with an opportunity to become the 7th number 8 seed to upset a number 1 seed was right there. Magic collapsed. Produced the lowest scoring half in league playoff history.
They had 19.
Dude.
In the second half, they scored 19 points.
That was indeed the worst half of basketball ever. I was like, I feel like I'm watching the worst half of basketball of my life. Here it is. Lo and behold, it is the worst.
I didn't watch it live. I can't remember what I had going on Friday.
I did. It was like watching a car accident in like super extra slow motion.
I just remember looking at the score at halftime thinking, oh my God, Orlando's actually going to do it. They got a 20-something point lead at halftime. They're closing this out. Detroit, how many Detroit's probably still going to have hard questions because I don't think they're going very far. But you never know. To see then, though, like that they only had 19 points in the second half was one of the most jarring glances at a box score that I've ever had in my entire life. Paolo Banchero was 4 of 20, 0 of 9 from 3. 4 of 20 from the floor, 0 of 9 from 3. As a team, they were 9 of 36 from 3. They shot 35% overall from the floor. Like Banchero with a chance to close out a series at home, and you go 4 of 20 total, 0 of 9 from 3. Dude, trade his ass after that. Are you kidding me? I'm out if I'm a Magic fan.
Well, here is Paolo Banchero after Game 7. And do the Magic have a future?
I mean, I can't really answer that. I want to say yes, but we haven't been out of the first round. So if you're going off the last 3 years, the answer is no. But the nice answer would be yes. But honestly speaking, I can't say that we're good enough to be in the finals or Eastern Finals because the last 3 years we've had the same result. So that's your answer.
Yeah, that's going to be a pretty tough one.
You
dude.
traded 5 first-round picks for Desmond Bane, and you still can't get out of the first round.
Can I give you a round of applause?
Sure.
Non-basketball dirt.
Yeah.
Where he was right, where Hoop Sprague was way wrong. I knew it was a lot to give up, but I'm like, I kind of get it. They have a window. They're trying to capitalize on the Franz and Paolo stuff. Let's add a good 3-and-D guy who can get his own buckets. And Bane had a good season, but he was nowhere to be found in these last 2. And they're going to have to shake things up in a big way. I think they're going to trade either Franz or Paolo.
You're going to have to. Probably Franz, right? I would imagine they wouldn't want to move on from Paolo, but that Game 6 was...
Dude, I don't know, because Franz got hurt. He didn't even play in Game 7.
Yeah.
But Paolo, he didn't have a great year, and then he started playing well in the playoffs.
He did until Game 6. He was the only one who
showed up yesterday in Game 7.
He was the only one, with a pulse yesterday. But Game 6, he was so bad. What I would say, I'll take the credit. Thank you. I appreciate that. Being told I'm right is always a nice thing.
We know the Bridges one is, they could win the title and then it won't matter. But if they don't win the title, we're going to be like, the Bridges is the same thing.
I also will acknowledge, though, when I looked at Orlando, it wasn't an idea that getting Desmond Bane means you're not going to get out of the first round of the playoffs. It meant I don't think that's good enough to win a title.
Right.
I just thought, that's your move. Because once you make a trade like that, you're basically all in. That's all of your future draft capital has gone for one player. Now, you could tweak, other players here or there, which they're going to have to do this offseason. But you look to the East, it's wide open. I just thought trading 5 first-round picks to get to, the Eastern Conference Finals, is that worth it? And maybe for them it would have been.
Right.
Never in a million years did I think they would turn around after being a playoff team, and I want to say a top 4 seed at least one of the last 2 years in the East, and turning around and getting bounced in the first round. They were an 8 seed. They almost didn't even make the playoffs.
We thought they were going to lose the play-in.
They damn near didn't make it. Have they fired their coach yet? If they haven't, 3-2-1, here comes the breaking news sounder. That coach is going to get fired. That was the worst kept secret at the end of the regular season. But to your larger point, they got a lot of hard questions that they're staring in the face right now because they don't got a lot to work with in terms of assets that they can trade.
The less duddier Game 7, because that Game 7 started out and you're like, oh, okay, you got a little back and forth between Detroit and Orlando, and then Detroit just pulled away.
First half was relatively close. Second half, not so much.
Cleveland-Toronto, what a Game 6 shot. Another Halliburton situation, back rim, straight up, straight down.
Kawhi Leonard, too.
Kawhi Leonard with the one bouncing in.
The other one that I think of with making a shot like that.
That's a very fair one, and a collapse by Cleveland to lose that basketball game, and then out to an early deficit, stays 10 relatively most of the first half, And then here comes the surging Cavs. They end up not looking back. And
Yeah, big third quarter kind of doomed them.
no Ingram
Toronto.
made a big deal for Toronto. Not having Brandon Ingram out there really hurt them. But Cleveland comes back to win that one. I thought that was a little bit of a dudsy Game 7.
It wasn't great. It was better than the first one, but neither game really delivered to an all-time level.
It wasn't a great Sunday Game 7s. We had 3
No.
Game 7s. We thought we might get a fourth with the Laker Rockets, and then LeBron and the Lakers were like, the hell we will.
Hold my beer. We're going to the second round. See you later.
Ba-boom. Cash that money line bet. Thank you very much.
I will ask the question again. Now, I feel
No,
great.
he's not the GOAT. We're not asking that question today.
Oh, no, that's not my question. But
Oh.
he is the GOAT, and he's the most underrated athlete of all time. I will ask the question again.
Yeah.
Who the hell's going to win the East?
New York.
Okay.
Don't ask me if I'm sure about that.
You sure about
'cause
that?
I don't have an I'm sure about
You
that.
sure about that?
Now, let me ask you about Philly.
I'm holding that ticket now. I feel
So-
great. My cash out went up 4 times the amount
Did it
after
really?
they won Game 7. Yeah, it was a $5 bet. I think it pays $150, and my cash out after the Game 7 win was already up to like $25.
So, Philadelphia, New York.
It's going to be
Does
an
it feel
awesome
like
series.
the East Finals to you?
Because
Because I have a Cavs East ticket,
yes.
and I don't feel very good about that thing right now.
Detroit and Cleveland won in the first round. Neither one should feel good about anything that they've done. Like, neither one should have any semblance of confidence going into the second round.
Really? You don't think Detroit
No.
getting
no,
over and
no,
winning a...
No.
No?
The only reason they're still alive is Orlando did something that we've never seen done in the history of the NBA playoffs.
Styles make fights, though?
They scored 19 points in the second half of Game 6.
you're not wrong.
That's why the Detroit Pistons are advancing to the second round. Like, I saw a Cade Cunningham quote, and he was like, we're going to learn from this. We're going to, it's good playoff. Like, dude, I don't know if that's good experience, man. You should have lost to the 8 seed in the first round. You guys were ass the entire time. Orlando just topped your level of ass, and that's the only reason you're still standing. Like, Toronto, I guess, is a bit more formidable of a challenger, if you will.
Sure.
Against Cleveland, but they still have the Harden thing hanging over their head. Like, I just have no hope that he's going to be able to put it together. So to answer your question, yes, I think Philly in New York is the conference finals. I also think that's, without a shadow of a doubt, the juiciest matchup and the best matchup of the second round of the playoffs. Every other series...
Spurs Wolves is not...
Who's
and
playing?
Edwards questionable.
Is he going to play?
He's upgraded to questionable.
Okay.
I'm led to believe he will.
What about the cat from Chicago? Is he going to play?
I don't know.
Okay. What about DiVincenzo? Is his Achilles going to
he's
get
out.
re-popped?
He's out. All right, so yours
They're
is
not
Philly?
beating San Antonio with a shorthanded roster. It's not happening.
We'll get to the Blazers at the top of the hour because it was a juicy little rumor mill weekend for us out here in Rip City with this name and that name and the other name. But let's carry this over because you struck something that's interesting to me. The most interesting matchups and most exciting ones that we have from the second round. We'll get to that. Dirt and Sprague coming up next, 105.1, The Fan. Fan text lines 503-864-6326. We had a death in sports, but also
I'd say it's more of a celebration of life today than a mourning.
the way people in this town are talking about it, it's the most shocking news they've ever had. And I'm like, what? He's how old?
He was born before World War II, dude.
I mean, yeah. It's a great life.
That's a hell of
He's
a
lived
life.
one of the best lives as a human being you can live.
You get me to 87, man. I'm happy as a clam.
We had juicy rumor mill Portland-based stuff, and we should have Bobby Marks on our show at 8 on Wednesday.
Hell yeah.
He thought he could maybe go today, and I'm like, oh, it's perfect.
Let's do it, Bobby.
And then he checked his schedule, and he's like, actually, Monday, Tuesday might be a disaster now. So he had to hit me back and let me know that Wednesday would work.
He does all those, like, once the team gets eliminated, he does a big piece on them and a video on them. I watched and read the one on Portland, and so he's busy in the last day because more teams got eliminated.
Also does a lot of draft stuff. So we've got the Cavs and the Pistons moving on from their Game 7s. And Saturday, they were up pretty decent amount most of the way, and in the fourth quarter it got kind of tight there between the Sixers and Celtics. It was the best of the Game 7s.
Easily the best game of the weekend. That game was fun. The drama, the Embiid flopping around, quieting the crowd after hitting a three. That game was fantastic.
I have no rooting interest here.
Mm-hmm.
The Sixers, Celtics, Knicks are three Eastern Conference-based teams that when they play each other, it feels very personal.
Boston, Philly, New York.
It feels
they're right next to each other and they hate each other.
I would argue, Dirt, it's the closest you could possibly get to feeling what an NFL rivalry is or college football rivalry is for their sport.
Oh, they can't stand each other.
Like Wemby and the Thunder, if they meet in the West Finals, that's going to feel the same because it's going to be the young up-and-coming team with the freak versus the defending champion. So I think you'll get that. But largely in that league, you don't have it.
No, it's also one, I think, in that example where they're going to meet each other a ton in the playoffs in the years. Like, fast forward 3 years from now, and we'll be talking about that a certain way.
But Philly, Boston, New York all have this personal, no. Our city's better. No. Our city's better.
They do.
And so it's the teams, but also it's largely driven by the fans. And I think you might be right, though I don't want to dismiss the Timberwolves and the Spurs.
I hope I'm wrong on that. And somebody texted in and said the T-Wolves bigs can shoot threes. That'll pull Wemby out of the paint. Like, it's great in theory.
If Ant Edwards can play and be productive,
at
I
what
do think
point in the series
things.
can he be back? Because game one of that series is tonight.
He's listed as questionable.
I know. What percentage is he at? He wasn't even playing good before he went down. He wasn't even their best player. So Gobert can maybe do. I mean, he knows Wembanyama. He had some great quotes going into the series about how Wembanyama asked him what kind of like water filter he has or something like that.
It's the way French freaks.
That's the way his mind works. So there's definitely angles there. But I also think you go from Embiid in the last round's playing Boston. They always lose to Boston. Mm-hmm. Remember, he was on the desk of the NBA Finals. Was it 2 years ago that Boston beat Dallas? That was 2 years ago, right?
Yeah.
And he's on the desk before like Game 5 or Game 6 of the NBA Finals with Paul George, recruiting Paul George.
Basically telling you Paul George is going to be a Sixer.
In the middle of a halftime of game or pregame, I can't remember what it was, talking about how much he hates Boston and how he can't wait to beat Boston. So he finally paid that off 2 years later. Let's also turn the clock back a little bit more. You know who hates each other with a passion? Karl Anthony Towns and Joel Embiid.
Yeah.
They have already started talking to us going into this series. When Kat was back in Minnesota, they had moments where they went viral yelling at each other on social media, calling each other bitches. Like, the drama of all of it is going to be fantastic. Great. Like, I don't know how the series goes. I'm rooting like hell for Philly now because I randomly put a ticket on them to win the Eastern Conference, and all of a sudden it doesn't look like that crazy of an idea. I'll tell you what I am going to do tonight. I'm going to bet them plus a 7.5.
Oh, I'm with you.
Why are the Knicks favored against? Like, what are we doing here? New York is so overvalued
it's
in the
turn
Vegas.
and burn, I think, from a Game 7 high to going on the road at Madison Square.
And look, Embiid was flopping all over the place. He took a knee to the back of the head from Maxey at one point. So I don't know. Maybe he's not at 100% either. But all of a sudden you have Maxey as their best player, Embiid with the ability to be their best player on any given night, And Paul George is like a third or fourth option. Like, it's the theory that we had of Philly when they put this all together that we thought, oh, that could be interesting. And not to mention a rookie in Edgecombe who's been really good and won them a game in that first-round series. So to see them erase a 3-1 deficit, come back and win, that was easily the best round, I thought, of the first round, or the best series of the first round. And now we get Philly, New York, which I think will deliver in terms of the drama and the hatred and the fireworks and the sparks or whatever you want to say. I think that's going to be a really fun series.
Poor Cleveland, Detroit, like... They're not going to get nearly the amount of pub as Sixers Knicks.
Nobody cares. If they had both swept their way there and Detroit looked like a legit 1 seed,
and Cleveland with
and
Harden
Cleveland was like
rolling,
5-game, Harden's playing good, Mitchell looks awesome, you're like, ooh, okay. But they both limped in against inferior opponents and easily could have lost their series.
I put up the poll question, which Eastern Conference team do you want to see in the NBA Finals? 76ers, Knicks, Cleveland, and Detroit at Dirt and Sprague. You can vote there.
There's 2 options that are okay here. It's Philly and New York.
Okay, so
whoever wins the Philly-New York series, please, for the love of God, go to the NBA Finals.
I tried to tell you that, the Magic, by the way, breaking news, just fired the coach.
Told you, 3-2, last segment, 3-2-1.
Literally.
It was only a matter of time.
You almost nailed that
perfectly. Was so close. How great would that have been if I would have said it and you glance up and there's the thing at the bottom of the screen?
Really just hit the ticker right there.
My sources have confirmed, by the way,
yeah,
the Magic have fired their head coach.
Yeah, they're going to blow it up.
Yeah, they're going to blow it up.
I think they're going to make a big trade. And we could talk about that and how that is in regards to our team.
I'll take Franz Wagner.
Oh.
Why not?
Franz or Paolo?
I don't think they're going to trade Paolo.
That's totally fine to say. But we'll talk about that coming up at the top of the hour. It's a loaded rumor mill weekend for the Blazers. But Sixers-Knicks. I told you that the Knicks winning the finals and beating the Thunder would be like Adam Silver couldn't draw up a better scenario, I think, for himself.
No.
That being said, who are you rooting for here, 76ers or Knicks?
From a business reason, I'm rooting for Philly because I want to cash a ticket.
Okay.
But also from a rooting interest, I am rooting for Philly.
You want Philly in it?
I am.
Because they've had a hard go with their baseball team and their NFL team. And
the Giants have won multiple Super Bowls.
The Flyers are in the second round right now. It's been tough for Philly fans.
Lost game 1 to Dundon, though. The Hurricanes are a wagon, even though Dundon won't buy T-shirts. I haven't been able to put my finger on how he's able to do it.
Well, he didn't do it.
Of course. He's the owner.
He didn't do anything.
He has nothing to do with winning and losing.
Who's gotten which fan base is more insufferable when they win?
New York, I think. I think New York, just in the Philly example. Like, I don't think Philly basketball fan is to the level of Eagles fan. I don't think it's
the same person.
I know it's the same person, but it's not the same level of psychotic nature.
Football's a little more.
When the Knicks and Sixers last played in the playoffs, it was like 40% Knicks fans in that stadium.
Which Joel Embiid was like,
please come to the
sell
game.
Your tickets. They're having as
Name
a franchise.
Name me one Eagles playoff game in which there's 40% of another fan base in that stadium. It does not happen. Basketball is a third fiddle in that market. It has always been a third fiddle in that market. And so for that reason, I don't think they're that. Like, Knicks fans will be significantly more insufferable. And you'll also get the people who come out of the woodwork of like, I've always been a Knicks fan. No, you haven't, dude. No, you haven't.
Stop New York.
I mean, it was like all the Indiana fans like, oh, you went to Indiana now too, huh? Right when they won their title last year. I'm an Embiid guy. I know he can be a little bit of a B. I get it. He's also dealt with so many injuries.
He is an all-time, if the injuries don't hit.
Yes. His first running mate, by the way, number 1 overall pick,
fisherman.
Forgot to shoot.
He's fishing.
And then you get James Harden as pivot too, who's like, let me choke my way out of the playoffs every year. Like, he gets Paul George. Paul George tests positive for steroids. Like, everything the guy's been, when we're like, Embiid's never been to a conference finals, like it's his fault.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't have an MVP.
Maxey's fun.
Maxey's awesome, dude. I think they can win that series for sure.
I do too.
Philly's playing really good ball right now.
I think the Knicks are probably going to do it, but I think it could be a fun 5-6 game series. I don't know if I see it going 7. The Embiid injury stuff, it's just... Like 4 different times, and I know Jaylen Brown alluded to him flopping, like 4 different times in that game, the way he lands and looks.
He's almost causing himself to get hurt.
I'm just like Maxey runs into his knee, and that wasn't his fault, but things like that happen to him every game. And so the minute that actually happens and takes him out,
it's a ticking time bomb.
It's hard not to say the Knicks ultimately are going to do it.
Yeah.
The Knicks have all the pressure of all the 4 teams. They have to be in the finals this year.
No doubt. When you look especially at the East landscape, you gotta come out of the East.
You have to capitalize, man. There's
Philly
no doubt about it.
Is banged up, and they got Embiid, who we don't know what percentage he's at. Like, you have to win that series, and then nobody's going to believe in the other team that wins, Cleveland versus Detroit.
I'll be happy for my homie Ray. I will not be happy for my homie Marv, but I'll be very happy if you also cash your ticket with the 76ers winning the East. But that's the playoff matchups. Cleveland and Detroit in the second round, 76ers and Knicks. We'll get to the West at some point as well.
It was great to see Boston blow that series, by the way.
We have a loaded second hour to get to. We had a lot of rumors here in Portland with the Trailblazers, Giannis, Anthony Davis, you name it, it was thrown out there. Hour 2, let's dive in. 105.1, The Fan.
George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, 3 Game 7s across the NBA and NHL yesterday. The Pistons knock off the Magic 116-94 to complete their comeback down 3-1 to win the series. Cade Cunningham, 32 points, 12 assists. ESPN's Shams Charania reporting the Magic have fired head coach Jamal Mosley after 5 seasons. Cavaliers beat the Raptors 112-102 to win that series. Jared Allen, 22 points, 19 rebounds. Pistons and Cavs in the Eastern semifinals starting Tuesday. In hockey, the Canadiens only had 9 shots on goal and still outlasted the Lightning in Game 7 2-1. They move on to play the Sabres in the East semifinals starting on Wednesday. And also the Avalanche beat the Wild 9-6 in Game 1 of their Western semis. The 15 combined goals is the 3rd most ever in an NHL playoff game. I'm Brandon Henson from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
This is the Fans.
Dirt and Sprague here on a beautiful Monday morning, 105.1 The Fan, and what we'd like to call the Fan Sports Network. That's 1080 AM. That is the Odyssey app. That is YouTube. Or 105.1 FM. Thanks for hanging with us this morning. Hope commute's going all right. Yeah, wash your ass.
Make sure your asses are washed.
It's really important. A lot to get to here in the second hour of the program.
Especially after a hot day. A lot of extra sweat down there.
It was great. I went and golfed.
I did too.
Right in the middle of the heat. It was perfect.
Nothing reminded me of how out of shape I am than playing golf in 90-degree heat.
Oh, really?
Like, dude, not in game shape yet. We're dragging to the finish line here. It's great in theory. Then you get to the 14th hole, like, all right, I'm good.
One of my best friends, I call him the club whore, basically.
Okay.
Every year and a half to 2 years, he has to get a new club or a new set.
They have to.
It's always the club's fault.
Yes.
He got a new driver.
That's how you fix your game.
He's played 2 rounds, and he texted me during the last break the average distance on his driver now versus the last one that he had for 2 years. And I'm like, it's 2 rounds.
It's not enough of a sample size here. How many fairways are we hitting? You can hit it farther. What's our fairway percentage here?
Calm down, dude. We get it. You love to buy new stuff. Fancy schmancy. We got a lot to get to here in the second hour of the radio program. The Fan text line's 503-864-6326. Also would like to remind you guys that on June 23rd, Toyota presents the Fan Golf Classic out at Langdon Farms Golf Club. Foursomes on sale now, morning or afternoon rounds at 1051thefan.com by clicking on the Fan Golf Classic logo. We'll be hanging out all day out at the infamous Angels MV Bourbon Par 3 6th hole. And we all get to enjoy some Matt's Barbecue, which is going to be delightful on June 23rd. Again, 1051thefan.com. The Fan Golf Classic presented by Toyota is also brought to you by Vulcan Design and Construction, Henderson and Daughter Windows and Doors, George McCoy at Warren Allen Attorneys at Law, Battery Exchange, Maestro Dobel Tequila, your neighborhood restaurant group, Philbrook Law, 1-800-DIVORCE, Roto-Rooter, Illegal Mezcal, and Window Nation. Did you see the big news over the weekend?
What was the big news over the weekend?
Giannis Antetokounmpo followed Tiago Splitter.
What? Is that because Tiago's going to be the next head coach of the Milwaukee Bucks? Because we're not going to retain him?
Well, they hired Taylor Jenkins.
Oh, touche. They did hire a coach.
We didn't
Touche.
talk about that, but they hired
Damn
Taylor
it,
Jenkins.
my theory, my joke.
Their owner's not cheap.
Turn around, threw that right back in my face.
And did you see the even bigger news?
Ooh, what was the bigger news?
So did Thanasis.
I mean, it's a tandem package.
We're getting Thanasis in that trade, and I'm not going to be mad about it. I'll
You
say
have
I
to.
get it.
In order to pull that trade off, there has to be a Thanasis in there. It's like when Oregon got Dylan.
No, it has to be the Thanasis.
The Thanasis. When Oregon got Raiola, and all of a sudden it was an update of like, by the way, his brother committed too. Oh, yeah, all right.
Wait, Raiola's brother's at Oregon?
We got both Raiolas. They're a tandem package.
What position does the other Raiola play?
I think he's a tight end. It doesn't come anywhere close to the worst package deal they've ever pulled off. Oregon's
Oregon?
done this before because this happens in recruiting. Like brothers will be like,
Wait,
"We
is
want
this
to play."
the Herberts, or are you going?
No,
even
the
more
Herberts are
egregious than
fine.
that?
Like Patrick wasn't great, but he was
Sure.
a fine tight end. It's way worse than that. Jurion Dickey's one of the biggest whiffs in recruiting in however many years, right? 5-star receiver, came in, did nothing.
Did he ever play an actual down in a game?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't. He made a catch in the spring game,
He's
though.
gone, though, right?
He is gone. I
Yeah.
can't remember. I think he ended up at Sacramento State. I can't remember where he ended up.
Well, he chose 99, so
He
he was
did.
destined to fail. I tried to tell you that at the beginning of all that.
His brother was a fat-ass defensive lineman who was maybe my height and 315 pounds. And I remember seeing him on the sideline of like, God, dude, this is a Nepo recruitment if I have ever seen one. Of like, we wanted your 5-star brother. All right, fine, we'll take you. All right, you can come along too. You got a spot. And he's now, needless to say, off the team. Tandem packages, though. You got to do what you got to do to get the star.
Did Jordan Schultz go crazy about that Nepo Scally,
I
or is
think
it
he
only
did.
LeBron?
He yelled on the post-game show endlessly.
We have a lot to get to in the second hour, but all jokes aside, like, people did notice Giannis started following that. His brother was following Tiago. I don't know if Tiago's going to get the job. We don't even know who that coach of the Blazers is going to be yet. But
No, we do not.
man, the world was lit on fire this weekend via NBA trade rumors here in Portland. The tell from Jake Fisher of the Stein line is that the Blazers are looking very closely at potentially, getting Anthony Davis. Now,
They tried to get him at the
they
deadline,
tried to get
too.
him at
That
the
was the
deadline
reporting.
for a Jeremy Grant-based package, but I think the ask was too high for Portland's end, so they bailed out of it.
Yeah.
They went and got Vit Krejci, who didn't do anything for them. And so going from Anthony Davis to Vit Krejci is quite a pivot. But they tried at the deadline, and now they're potentially re-engaging, according to Jake Fisher, the idea of Anthony Davis in a trade. There's also still the Giannis stuff. Fisher's highlighted what Orem highlighted of they're very much in play, or at least putting themselves in play,
Right.
to try to go get Giannis. And, you know, it's very interesting thinking about all of the trade scenarios. There's either those two, or there's the pivot, which I don't know how to feel about all this. And let's try to sort this stuff out, because you go from, are you in on the Anthony Davis-Giannis trades? And if that doesn't happen because neither wants to be in Portland, or the ask is just a little steep for what you're getting, are you in on Trey Murphy?
I think it goes back to the Desmond Bain point. What's the asking price, and what are you giving up?
So I just give you an idea here.
Sure.
I just want to throw one out.
Throw it out. What's the
This
what's
was
the
not
proposal?
the individual telling me this is without a doubt the trade, because
Sources.
he doesn't know, but also he's just spitball guessing, okay?
Okay.
So I'm defending this person.
Yes.
Danny threw out Trey Murphy, and I said, what do you got to throw out for Trey Murphy?
Yeah, what's my package? What am I giving up?
And he basically said Desmond Bain, 4 firsts, and Shaden. And I just instantly went, ugh.
I recoil at the thought of that.
That is the Desmond Bain, and look, Bridges could very well age well if they get to the finals and even win it. But that
I would
only
say it's
ages-
more of like lucky, because it's not like he's
Right.
been great in the playoffs.
Well,
He had a
he's been
game where they sat him. He didn't even make a shot.
But the Bain one is just the league. The league collectively has to go, well, we're not overpaying anymore for fringe all-star role guys.
And look, Trey Murphy's a good player. He 21 points per game, take it, right? He's a 38, 39% at times, 40% three-point shooter in
Got
his
good
career.
size, good length.
6'8".
He's a fine defender.
Could be more of a
Yep.
4 for you. Like, it makes I get it in theory, and the idea of trading for Trey Murphy is exciting. The idea of giving up all of your future draft capital to go get Trey Murphy, I think you're the Orlando Magic next year.
I would throw up. I'm
like-
not really, but like I'd want to. I'd be like, that is such a high price for
That's
Trey
your future.
Murphy.
This is your draft capital you have
Yeah.
to work with. And Trey Murphy, I don't believe, puts you into the mix of San Antonio and Oklahoma City. Maybe it makes you a second-round team next year. Maybe it makes you a top 6 seed in the Western Conference. Like, that wouldn't be the most shocking thing. I just, the idea of that being the move you make in order to get to a point of contention, I just don't see it happening. And the difficulty is when you make a trade like that, a la Orlando, we're going to talk about this with Orlando all year.
Yeah.
They do the Desmond Bain thing. Now, what do they have left to work with? They have
Well,
no draft picks
they
to
gotta
trade away.
trade one of their
So
big
now
two
you got to
guys.
trade away one of your pieces, but then you're just swapping. Like, you're not going to move Franz Wagner and get a player that is significantly better than him. You can move some money around. You can maybe find a different contract or an expiring deal. Like,
Yep.
there's creative ways that you can try and do that. But you're not getting a player that's better than Wagner on the open market in a trade. It's just not going to happen. And so that I don't love the idea of that. And I'm hoping that based on kind of what you said there with Desmond Bane, like there needs to be a course correction here. This is like a housing market that's got a little over bloated, and we need to raise some interest rates a little bit to settle this thing down.
Sure.
Desmond Bane should not be traded for 5 first-round picks. Trey Murphy is a good player, a very good player. He should not be traded for 5 first-round picks.
Would you do 2 in Shaden?
Yes.
Is that about the fair
2
market?
in Shaden I would have zero issue with at all. 5? That's all of your future draft capital.
So there's the big 2 names, which I want to get into, and then there's like the fringe next level guys.
Yes.
And I just saw this post, and I don't even know, like, there's a couple that I'm not really sure are even possibly available. So Trey Murphy's probably the biggest one of this group, okay? He's 21 points a game. He's 37.9% from 3, right? He's
high volume of threes, too. It's not like he's taking 2 or 3 a game.
And he's got
taking
good
8.
length, good size.
Yeah.
The next is Lauri Markkanen, to which I just said, why would Utah go get Triple J just to trade Lauri Markkanen? I don't think he's legitimately available.
Yeah.
Jarris Walker out of Indiana. 11.6 points per game. You'd be selling on the idea of what he could become because it hasn't quite, and he's still a youngish player. So
it's a Denny Avdia-ish move.
Yeah, that's kind of how I think they would view it. Corey Kispert.
He's a good player.
He can shoot. Also refused to shoot when they were down 75 points. I didn't understand what was going on there at the end with Corey Kispert in Atlanta. And then Peyton Watson, who if you're Denver, why would Denver not bring back Peyton Watson? I would argue if they had Peyton Watson, they wouldn't have lost the series they just lost.
Agreed.
But Peyton Watson, 14.6 points per game last year before the injuries, and he shot 41% from 3. So I don't even think like 2 of these 5 guys are available. And then Kispert doesn't get me overly excited. He adds shooting, but that's, and some okay defense. Jarris Walker is the Denny idea that he's going to get infinitely better than what you think he is.
Gambling on the upside.
And then Trey Murphy. Now, those are like the fringe guys that I don't even know what would cost for those. And again, I don't think 2 of the 3 of them are going to be, or 5 of them are going to be available.
Sure.
The big guns here are all the intel is the Blazers are going for Anthony Davis and Giannis. Now, landing them is an entirely different conversation.
Incredibly difficult to do.
But the intel is that Portland is in on those trades. Let's start with Anthony Davis, who's a very, very
controversial player.
Controversial, polarizing player for a lot of people. Now, there was a mock trade thrown out there by the Wizards' social media, fan accounts, and I'm just like, okay, like it's Jeremy, Shaden, Scoot, and one of the Bucks for Anthony Davis.
That's too much.
Well, yeah, that's kind of the point is like, what is even the price for Anthony Davis? And then are you willing to bring in Anthony Davis to the situation?
I loved the idea of going after him at the deadline based on the reporting of what the package was. It was essentially Dallas. We knew where Dallas was going, right? Like they got Cooper Flagg. They're pivoting to a younger team and more of a rebuild. Maybe Kyrie's a part of that, but we knew Anthony Davis wasn't going to be long for Dallas, and so they were looking to trade him, and Portland said, well, we got Jeremy Grant's contract that could get us somewhere close financially. We still would need some more than that, but let's move some monies around here. You want out of that $60 million a year so you can go pay some other guys. Like, it made sense in theory, and then they just ended up getting more draft picks, and I think Portland was comfortable trading for him. I personally would not have an issue with it at all, depending on what the package is, because of what the high-end ceiling of Anthony Davis can be. Like, we've seen Anthony Davis win healthy and win available.
One of the best.
And you can throw it in my face immediately. Well, that's a big win and a big if, Dirt, and I totally acknowledge that. But I also know that at the top end, when healthy, he's capable of being one of the 5 best players in the NBA. 5 or 6 best players in the league.
You still think he is capable of that now?
It's $1 million question, and I don't know. He's not 37 years old. He's 33, and there's 2 years. And I know that
he's a big,
and he's been banged up. I get it. In his last year, full season in LA before getting traded, go look at his numbers, dude. I mean, we're not talking 8 years ago. We're talking like legitimately 2 years ago. He had a season where he played 76 games, and he averaged like 25 and 13, shooting 56% from the floor. Like he still has the ability to be a very good player, and I also think based on his injury history and the concerns about him, and just what is Washington even doing with him, because they're a restarting team and a rebuilding team that might get the number 1 overall pick this year in the draft. I don't think the package is going to be that big to go get him.
You just have to financially meet, which
you have to get into a certain threshold in order to make it work.
I actually think Jeremy would work pretty decently, I think, on that Dallas team, by the way. Like, not like as a long-term, but as a short-term role guy who can help them maybe make the playoffs. That would actually make sense. So, last 2 seasons, 51 games, 20 games.
Yeah. I also don't know how much of that this year was both teams he played on were tanking. I know he was banged up personally.
Well, he wasn't going to come back for the Wizards at the end.
No,
that
so
was
that's
gonna be a
that's all I'm saying is in the back end of the year that was that could be a misleading thing. And then he got hurt. Remember, he got traded to Dallas, and I want to say the first game he played, he got hurt.
I want to play this. So this is from Victor Wembanyama. The Spurs are getting ready to play the Timberwolves, and Wemby was basically asked about the matchup with Minnesota versus what San Antonio just played in Portland, and here was what Wemby said.
What was that like adjusting on a game-to-game basis, having the same team over and over again?
It was good. It was fun. But Portland is a pretty straightforward team. You know, they're on one end of the spectrum of NBA teams. So it requires a lot of resilience to keep pushing through that because they push you through an identity that might not be yours. And I'm excited to play against teams that, will challenge more of the technical basketball aspect.
I mean, I'll just tell you this. I sum that up as simple as Portland just wants to be physical and run down the court, and now we're playing a team that actually wants to execute actions and make us have to actually think about rotations because Portland couldn't shoot.
No, their entire offense is turbo.
It was downhill Denny. Downhill Denny, go downhill.
Go downhill. Set up somebody shooting a three, and they missed it.
And they can be physical, certainly, but I think Wemby in a roundabout way is saying, Portland's on one end, they're not in our world.
We're in a different tax bracket.
And Minnesota is kind of one of these teams
if healthy, they
ours.
can maybe push us a little bit.
To which I would just say, that's kind of the point, I think, of all the conversations of all of this, because I do want to talk about the Giannis element, too, of, I'm more always fascinated, not so much, I think about the fit. How does Anthony Davis and Donovan Clingan work?
I don't know.
Because Davis is a center. He doesn't want to be called a center. He's got that weird KD, I'm not 7 foot, but I'm 7 foot, but don't say I'm 7 foot.
Yeah, I mean, it could give you really big lineups occasionally. Robert Williams wouldn't be back in that scenario, I would imagine.
No.
Also, how does Young Hansen fit with Anthony Davis? We have to think about that, too.
That's a big part of the equation there.
That's your first-round pick last year, buddy. Don't you forget it.
Are you running twin towers?
With triple towers.
Well, no, but are you running twin towers with Clingan and Davis?
You could.
So, here...
Did he ever play with a center in L.A.?
Yeah, they brought in some centers.
Did they?
Yeah. Let me go look at some of those rosters. Because remember, he just refused.
Was it
to
DeAndre Jordan? What are we talking about here? I don't remember who their center was.
Give me a second.
I remember New Orleans tried it for a brief moment. Well, Boogie wasn't necessarily the most traditional five, but he was another big, and they tried that for a while. They couldn't stay healthy. That was the tough part. Boogie first, and then Anthony Davis.
But that actually
in theory,
worked
it was
until
working.
Boogie tore his Achilles.
Yeah, and then their season crumbled from that point. I know that
Mo Bamba was on one of the teams.
Mo Bamba.
Thomas Bryant, Mo Bamba.
Okay. So they just kind of went.
Winyan Gabriel, Blazer legend.
Winyan Gabriel. I haven't heard that name in a while. Shout out to the Rip City legend.
I mean, they always brought in centers, but actually starting them and
like a
playing
legitimate
them,
five that's a starting lineup level 5.
No, but AD also, he had the 1 year shooting well in the bubble from 3, and he never was able to duplicate that again. So it's clearly the bubble really worked for him. I think the thing about AD is this, because I listened to I went and found a snippet from I guess it would be today's episode of Simmons and Lowe, and they got to Portland and they're basically I don't know how you build this. It's kind of a weird roster in some ways. And that's kind of all I've been highlighting.
You got older guys, younger guys. Which way are we going?
I mean, this tells me what
you're going older.
You're going veteran, older, competing now. You're not leaning into the skids of youth and saying, well, just deal with a couple years of first-round woes.
Right.
If you're going AD or Giannis, you're clearly telling all of us, fans, media, everybody, the objective next year is to take that step of
we're in contention in the West.
Wemby's
not going to win
no longer
but
just looking kind of past you as, they're just going to be the downhill team.
Yeah.
There's going to be more to it. Now, I don't know if you can compete with OKC and San Antonio with those moves, and that's kind of a wait to be seen thing, but it's clearly your organization is telling us what we should think and feel.
I think the only guy who puts you into any semblance of a conversation with those two teams, not saying you beat them, not saying it puts you over the top, but gives you at least a puncher's chance of hope going into the season is Giannis.
You don't think AD is?
He can
For all
be.
you said about AD, you don't
can
think
be,
AD.
but I'm not going to be willing to go out. That's one of those, you need to see it. I need to see you play 70 games and look like the Anthony Davis of 2.5 years ago.
Right.
If you do, then by all means, sure. But I understand the pushback against that one. And the Giannis stuff is just the idea of him not signing the extension. But Giannis can still be one of the best players on the planet, and his career is not. He hasn't quite had the injury history that Anthony Davis has the last couple of years. I know he has been banged up himself, although this year he would tell you he wasn't banged up, and the Bucks were just tanking, and that's why he's going to get traded. That's the only one. Like if you pulled off the Giannis move, without a doubt in my mind, I'm going like, oh my God, there's a little bit of hope here. I'm not picking you to beat OKC or San Antonio, but Giannis at least puts you in the conversation.
So there's a lot of rumor mill stuff in regards to our team, and the owner's been in the headlines, right, for the obvious reasons. There's a lot of people fearful about Nico Harrison's relationship with Tom Dundon and having his ear. That was where people went with this. It also led me to go.
Is that a legitimate thing though? Because
we've had no actual.
There was a report that came out that was a jokey tweet from a Blazer account that then everybody ran with it. No, this is really happening.
No, it's just there have been media members wondering if that is a real thing. I'm not even saying it's real, and I'm not just referencing the tweet. I saw the tweet.
Yeah,
it's more to me about. I go back to the Dundon thing where they talked about the trade at the deadline. I kind of lean like it was probably more AD than it was Giannis. We all concluded it was Giannis. It sounds like from Orem's reporting and Jake Fisher's that it was more Anthony Davis. So I want to ask you this question, okay? I want you to noodle on this.
I'll noodle away.
We're against it. We haven't gotten to Giannis. Does Giannis make sense, and does Giannis make you feel like you can actually compete against OKC and San Antonio? 503-864-6326. We'll dive into that coming up next. Dirt and Sprague on 105.1 The Fan.
From the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
This update brought to you by Mountaintop Metal Roofing. No maintenance, energy efficient, fire resistant, and a lifetime warranty. Do it right. Do it once. Do it right. Visit mountaintopmetalroofing.com. First on the Fan, 3-game sevens across the NBA and NHL yesterday. The Pistons knock off the Magic 116-94 to complete their comeback, down 3-1 to win the series. Cade Cunningham, 32 points, 12 assists. ESPN's Shams Charania reporting the Magic have fired head coach Jamal Mosley after 5 seasons. The Cavaliers beat the Raptors 112-102 to win that series. Jared Allen, 22 points, 19 rebounds. Pistons and Cavs in the Eastern semifinals starting Tuesday. In hockey, the Canadiens only had 9 shots on goal and still outlasted the Lightning in Game 7, 2-1. They move on to play the Sabres in the East semifinals starting Wednesday. Also, the Avalanche beat the Wild 9-6 in Game 1 of their Western semifinals. The 15 combined goals is the third most ever in an NHL playoff game. I'm Brandon Henson from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
This is the
Welcome back in. A beautiful little Monday. We still got to get to the horsey race audio. Did you watch the Derby?
I actually did.
You did?
It's the first time I've watched it in God knows how long. I think it's because I ended up finding a way. I figured out how to gamble on it. My horse did not win.
Who'd you choose?
Incredible.
Oh,
I think I went.
That's a good name.
I was like, yeah, they were in the 11
That's
shoot.
a good
They had
name.
like 30-1 odds. I was like, whatever. But I did end up watching it. It also coincided, like we got home perfectly timed of like, oh, it's 3:30. Let's turn it on. And like 10 minutes later.
I told you, 3:15, 3:30.
The race started. It was perfectly timed on my part this year.
A great call, as it always is. We'll bring that audio to you. May the 4th be with everybody out there. Hope you watch some Star Wars stuff today.
You nerds.
What? May the 4th be with you.
May the 4th be with you,
And
everybody.
with you.
And also with you.
These are not the hosts you're looking for. I'm going to watch something Star Wars. Leave me alone.
Do people still love all the new Star Wars stuff coming out?
No, actually,
No,
people love to
it's
say
met
how
with
much
some
they
backlash.
hate the Star Wars things. Although, too, I would say in the new Star Wars era of making Star Wars-based content, I think Andor is the more popular one, and then you've got Grogu and The Mandalorian. That movie's coming
Mandalorian
out.
I've heard is good.
Yep, that's coming. They got a movie coming out in like 2 weeks.
So we did a show and now we're doing a movie?
Oh, come on.
You got to.
Baby Yoda?
Does it
I'm
ever
in.
get, like, how often does, like, the fear there is oversaturation, is it not?
But they've only had a couple seasons of the show.
Yeah.
And now there's
No,
a
I'm
build
not
to
saying
the
just a
movie.
Mandalorian thing. I'm saying all of it in general of, like, when is too much too much?
Well, it's a space-based show, so the galaxy
Galaxy
is
limitless,
vast
is that what
and
you're telling me?
wide, and
Yeah.
you can make all the storylines you want.
Okay.
May the
going.
4th be with you, though. I want to remind you guys, we have a poll question, your neighborhood restaurant group poll question of the day. Does trading for Giannis make you believe the Blazers have a chance at knocking off OKC or San Antonio? Yes or no? At Dirt and Sprague. Your neighborhood restaurant group brings the fan poll question on Twitter every day, and dinner tonight at one of their 5 locations: Sandy O's, Big's Chicken, Reverend's Barbecue, 808 Hawaiian, and Laurelhurst Market Steakhouse. That's where you can vote at Dirt and Sprague. All those locations sound great.
I had 808 for dinner last night.
There you go.
Running late after the golf round. Got to grab something. I'm not cooking. I didn't get home till 6-something.
You had 808 for dinner, and I had heartbreak at golf course. So, we're all just dealing with different scenarios here. So, Giannis, we got the Anthony Davis stuff. I think we're largely in lockstep. I'm not going to be one of these. The idea that, like, we can't disrupt what we currently have as if
just
we're on the
shut up.
doorstep,
Yeah,
is
just
it's a
shut
little
up.
crazy to me.
Yes. You were a 17 and you got smoked in the first round.
The way the draft lottery is working now, I don't know where those Bucks picks are. I'd have to kind of reevaluate how I feel about it.
You also don't have a first-round pick this year.
I would get it from the sense of they want to be really good next year. Now, Anthony Davis may not do that for them.
Might backfire.
But I'm not going to sit here and be one of these Blazer fans that's just high and mighty as if, like, it's the worst thing the organization's ever tried. At
We
least
haven't
they're
tried
trying.
anything, man.
Right.
When's the last time we actually tried?
The Denny trade.
That wasn't even a try, though. That was like buying a stock that you believed in. That wasn't a big swing.
I hear you here, dude.
That was Malcolm Brogdon, who's out of the league, and Bub Carrington. That was the trade package.
I totally get it.
It's going to cost you a little bit more to get Anthony Davis or Giannis Antetokounmpo this offseason.
Giannis, I think I agree with your statement of Giannis feels more of a viable chance. I'm not going to sit here and say, do I pick them to knock off OKC and San Antonio?
No.
I probably don't. But if the gobbling Glizzy Dame comes back. Did you not see him this weekend at the Fire game?
No.
Somebody,
he was gobbling his Glizzy?
I feel bad for celebrities, dude.
That was what?
Some fan at the Firing game, dude? The Fire game, Dame was sitting courtside. And
I saw a picture of him courtside.
Housing a hot dog.
I mean,
he ate it like dirt on hole 10.
Let him
15 over at the turn. It was just like aggressive and quick, and sort of was noting Dame eating hot dogs. If he comes back and he gives you pretty good production.
I think it ruined my back 9 yesterday. I didn't get a hot dog at the turn. We had to jump a group on 10, and I was a little hungry coming in, but at that point, you can't roll the dice of not jumping the group because we were going to fly if we jumped them, and so I had to roll the dice, and it backfired.
Oh, don't get me started.
I didn't have the protein on hole 13.
I love the local muni I played yesterday. I love to go there. It's a great course. They didn't have any more glizzies at the turn.
Oh.
Now, I played a 3:40 start
offensive.
time round, so it was a little later, but like to not have glizzies available.
You can't run out of glizzies. That's the one thing. Glizzies and beer, you have to have at golf courses.
I went in there to get a glizzy because I was so bad in the front nine. And he goes, I'm all out of the menu items. And I go, so why are you open?
So you just have like a Snickers bar? What do you got? What can I buy? A bag of chips?
Gave me a dumbfounded look like, good question. Yeah, dude.
Just close down. We don't have any food left.
I see my front nine score. It's terrible. But Giannis certainly feels to me exactly what you're talking about, of more of a chance. If he is healthy and he is out there, you want to talk about guys that could still be top 5. I don't know about 5, but he's certainly right in the wheelhouse of 5, 6, or 7. When he's healthy and playing, he's productive. I mean, the splits of him at the Bucks were not good this year. The splits of him with the Bucks versus not with the Bucks is like one of the worst teams in the NBA to decently there and in a conversation every night. They just couldn't win games because the roster is so flawed.
Right. And that's not his fault.
Yeah. I don't know what the price costs. I know it involves their picks. We know it has to involve Jeremy, maybe Shaden. I'm in on the effort. I'm in on the try. Like I said this months ago, it continues to be out there. Jake Fisher reported this week. I'm in on the try of one of these players because I just don't know how else. Is Trey Murphy being added to this team and then taking Shaden off, is that going to suddenly take them from the 7 to the what?
No.
Because I think the Lakers are going to get
maybe.
a piece.
Right.
Minnesota's going to get healthy. They may make some tweaks.
Yeah, they're not going anywhere.
And OKC and San Antonio, I don't feel are going to go anywhere. So,
and Denver's still a big wild card. Like Denver still has Jokic. I don't know what their offseason's going to look like. It ended disappointingly for them, but as long as you still have Jokic, guess what? You're going to have a chance every year.
I more went the realm of like it's Giannis and AD right now for a lot of people, but like if Cleveland flames out in the second round to Detroit, would you go after Donovan?
I mean, we need more guards. Which one are we getting rid of? Obviously, one of your young guys would be a part of that trade. Scooter Shaden. We all assume Shaden will be traded this offseason.
Well, another intel that came out is that they're shopping Drew.
Yeah, which makes sense to me. And I know that
makes sense financially.
It makes sense financially with what his contract is at, and also the idea of just where is he going to be 2 years from now. Like, there's a difference. We're talking about Anthony Davis and Giannis, who are 31 and 33, I believe, off the top of my head. Drew Holiday's going to be 37 by the time that contract wraps up. So that was always a thought. I remember saying last offseason when they pulled that trade off, I thought to myself, all right, first off, Drew Holiday, significantly better basketball player than Anthony Simons. That has been proven. I don't care what the age difference is. It's not even a debate. What he does to help the team win is significantly greater than Anthony Simons. But also, he makes enough money where that could be a decent-sized trade chip by the time the contract is nearing its end. I wasn't sure if that was going to be this offseason, but you have to if you want to pull off one of these big deals. You got to be able to financially make it work, right? You got to get Anthony Davis is making $60 million. I don't know what Giannis' number is at right now, but I assume it's incredibly high.
He's going to get the extension,
so you got,
too.
Exactly.
He's going to have to have the extension.
Right. You got Jeremy Grant making 30-something. You're still $20 million shy of basically where you need to be for an Anthony Davis trade or a Giannis trade if you want to pull that off. The Giannis thing, look, the biggest ultimatum that you need there is he has to sign the extension.
It's very interesting how we talk about him, too. And I know you want to get to the extension part, but I just saw somebody...
Who, Giannis or AD?
Giannis.
Yeah.
Ben, one of our listeners, Ben, tweeted and said, has Giannis been healthy the last 5 years? No. Okay, so the answer is no. I went and looked it up, his game logs.
He's been healthy in the regular season.
36 games this year. He was not healthy this year.
He also claimed he could have played 50+ because they shut him down in the back half of the year.
They didn't want to get hurt.
Yes.
So let's just believe him there. Call it 50. 36 this year, could have been 50. 67, 73, 63, 67, 61, 63, 72, like...
He got hurt in the playoffs 2 years ago.
It's
or
not
3 years
like
ago.
he's not... Anthony Davis' the last 2 years has been far worse.
Significantly worse.
And if Giannis would have played 50 or more games this year had the Bucks not tried to sit him...
That would have been every year of his NBA career playing at least 50 games.
All I'm suggesting is this feels like a little bit of a false narrative.
Yes.
Now, it's not that... I don't know if Giannis will stay healthy and be able to play. It's just more like we act like he's only been playing 10... or 20 to 30 games the last 4 years, and I don't know if that's quite the case.
I also will add this, too, and this is where, like, you gave me credit for the Desmond Bane take, which I appreciate. I always like being told I'm right because I'm always right. But where you were right in that scenario, and I remember that debate that we had, was the idea of, well, what's the alternative? Like, if you don't want to trade 5 first-round picks for Desmond Bane, which I felt like was too much.
Yeah.
Like, or you just stay pat. Like, you can't win a series in the first round. So
That
just
duo
roll it
couldn't
back.
win,
Like,
so do you
what
add
else are you
something?
going to go do?
Right.
Like, and that I thought was a fair throwback. I just didn't love Bane for that price point,
They
but it's a fair.
overpaid for him.
They absolutely did, but it's also your idea was right in terms of, well, what else are you going to do? And so that's the one thing that I will throw to Blazer fans today. Like, we're getting a lot of like hell no on Anthony Davis. That's fine.
I think that's the universal agreement.
I get it. So you want him to trade 4 first-round picks for Trey Murphy?
I mean,
What is that? Does that get you to a 6 seed? Like,
everybody is saying hell no on AD, which is very fair.
so, and then what
you're
if Trey
saying
Murphy
hell-
is the price, is 4 first-round picks? You just want him to run it back next year?
You should be irate if Trey Murphy is 4 first
Okay,
round picks.
so if that's the case, though, then and Giannis says no on the extension,
If the pick
AD is too
swaps-
banged up, and
yeah.
Murphy's too expensive. Just run it back next year?
Well, no, I hear what you're saying. They're going to have to do something. If you run this back, good luck selling that to the fan base. The pick swaps are going to be involved, and then like the Orlando pick, and then maybe your pick. If that's the stuff and it's for Trey Murphy, dude, you are losing me. Because that is, I think you said it really well earlier of like, you're basically Orlando with just
You're a good team,
maybe
but not-
one less star. Say what you want about Paolo and Franz, and very fair today, given the way they played and got hurt. Like, you have Denny, and then who? Because a lot of people put the eggs in the Dame Easter basket, and I don't know how much to put into that. But
he could be a good player, but I don't think he's to that level anymore.
So I just think all of it is like, you have to make some effort. Giannis might be polarizing. AD certainly feels like the vast majority is a hell no, no thank you, and I get why, but you're just getting to a point where is Jarris Walker getting us fired up?
Right. Does that get you excited?
Trey Murphy I think would be a really good addition to the team. Where does it take you?
Yes.
And I want them to be consistently good and to try. I also want them to try to be a legit contender that wants to win everything. So we'll get to all of this coming up next. We can roll it over. We got baseball stuff to get into.
We do.
We got the horsey race to talk about. And we got some college football to dive into today. It is a loaded hour and a half. Dirt and Sprague back on 105.1 The Fan. All right, we'll go back in. Rough weekend in Seattle. Woof.
Dude, I'm out. I'm pulled the plug. It's done. It's over.
Oh, you guys are dead last.
I'll watch one more game because they just called up their top prospect. That's their desperation move, and then I'm done.
Did you pay for the
Dude,
extra innings?
Yes, I did.
See, I hear why
I mean,
you're
it'll
done.
be on.
That's
not,
what I mean.
I'm a tongue-in-cheek here,
Okay.
but, dude,
Yeah.
they went to Philly and Tampa this weekend. They went 0-6. That's the first time they've got swept in a two-city trip in like 5 years.
Yeah.
They got walked off 3 times in the 6 games.
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough.
And the Dodgers, I don't have the A's in first place in my division. That would give me a little bit of hope.
My team went to Colorado and had no real fight against Colorado. Was terrible.
The Rockies
They're
are really
bad.
bad. The Rockies are really bad.
It's fun to play in Colorado. A lot of baseballs fly out of that
They
stadium.
do. Fly away, as Dave House would say.
We'll get to some baseball stuff today. The Mariners got swept by the Royals. Cal Raleigh's hurt. We got a lot of people down our ass last year about talking more M's. You're not piping in right now, are you?
Where you at right now, champ?
I'm not saying your season's done. You shouldn't be giving up, but
No, it's a long ways to go, man.
my God, dude, swept by the Royals is a rough one.
Again, when the A's are in first place, I think the A's are in first
they
place.
are
Yeah,
by
that's-
default.
By default,
That division
you'll,
sucks.
you'll be all right.
They're also a half game out of the wild card. That's how bad
The
some
bottom of the
AL
AL is really rough.
So we'll get to some baseball stuff. College football. One college coach in this conference is telling you shut up about the narratives of this conference versus that conference. So we'll get to that today. But just kind of wrapping up some of the Giannis, Anthony Davis, Blazers in the rumor mill stuff. I'll say this, man. If you missed earlier, I had a dream about Joe Cronin and buying Joe Cronin a grief gift because he lost a family member and everybody at the radio station kind of laughing at me about it. But I thought a lot about this weekend and reading some of this stuff, and I'm going to be so fascinated which direction they end up going.
It's a pretty big offseason, Bob.
Because if it's AD, if it's Giannis, I understand it. If they can't land that fish and it's more a Trey Murphy type, I'm just curious, man. I find the roster a really interesting, difficult roster to build on. Not that it's an impossibility.
No.
But more like we talk about Anthony Davis. How does that work with Klingon? Really? Like, are we really thinking that's going to coexist? Or is he involved in the trade because they're going young? Now, how do we feel about losing Donovan Klingon at 21 years old?
Yep.
And then Giannis, it's like he can't shoot. He's mainly a pick and roll guy who's just going to
He's very
do
similar to
downhill
Denny. He's downhill Denny, but bigger and stronger.
So should we just lean into the downhill
Double
Denny?
downhill.
Double downhill?
That's our new team.
Are we going to be the double downhill Blazers with Dame on the outside shooting? Like, I don't think it's the easiest roster to try to build with. I like the pieces,
Yeah.
but they all kind of fit in clunky, weird ways when you talk about some of the names being thrown out there.
Because it's older and it's younger. And some of your young guys haven't hit yet. And you're probably moving on from your young guys when you're coming out of a rebuild. And you might be building out of a rebuild out of 37-year-old backcourt and an aging small forward / power forward. Like TBD on that.
Yeah.
Can I give you an honest thought? Please don't hate me for this. I'm going to throw this. I'm just going to say it because
throwing this out in the trust tree.
It's just you and me talking right now. Nobody's listening. Just you and me, buddy, and Brandon. Hey, good morning.
Jake, clip this and then just throw the standalone.
Put this out.
No context.
You know what thought I haven't had in the back of my head after watching San Antonio in the first round, and the thought of the Giannis trade would at least give me an internal wow. That would be the most hopeful I've been in a long time. Can
Very
you
big
do it?
Pippen type wow factor.
Like, oh
right?
my, that would be.
He's going to wear our uniform.
It'd be the biggest move in the history of the organization, right? So for that reason alone, I totally get it, and it would be awesome. I also don't know if it legitimately puts you into that conversation because of what you're highlighting, like the way the rest of it works.
I get it.
Do we have any other shooters? I don't know. You know what thought I had? What is the biggest strength right now of your future? The biggest strength that you have in your back pocket is from the Dame trade, the Milwaukee trade assets. That's the one thing that we're kind of hanging our hat on of like, okay, we can go make a big move. We have these to play with. Like, we're in a good spot long-term because of those. Would you be better served? Now, this will not happen. So just get it out of the way now. It will not happen.
Just say what you want to say, dude. Just
sell off.
What do you mean?
How many first-round picks could you get for Denny this offseason?
You want to pivot
I'm
the
just
other
saying,
way?
no, play the game with me for a second. Play the game with me for a second.
Okay, I'll play.
How many first-round picks could you get for Denny in a trade?
Probably 3 or more.
How many could you get for Kamara right now?
probably 1 to 2. His shooting woes.
I get it. It wasn't great shooting, but all defensive guys, like you're going to get. Robert Covington got 2 first-round picks many moons ago.
Well, that was our general manager.
I'm just saying.
I don't know how many other teams.
I think you could get
first.
4 for Denny, and I think you could get 2 for Kamara. And you could add 6 first-round picks to your mixture,
plus the Bucks,
plus all the Bucks.
So
picks.
We're just doing that with Dame and Scoot.
I mean, I don't really care about Damon Scoot. It's about what you're going to get with those draft picks when you compel those.
Get out of here.
I mean, sure you don't, but how did OKC build their roster?
I get
How did San Antonio build their roster?
They also got a generational player in the trade that nobody of either organization thought would pan out.
But what did they build the
MVP.
rest around it with draft picks?
It,
and San Antonio was 3 top 5 picks. That's why
you are selling a city. I said this many moons ago.
I grant you it will not happen.
We are not built for this.
But you cannot tell me it's not the worst idea ever.
Oh, what's a worse idea? Your idea or Anthony Davis?
Anthony Davis is a significantly worse idea.
I think the city would vote Anthony Davis, actually, of the 2 scenarios there.
Like, if you told me going to the offseason, I don't care what the city can or cannot handle. That doesn't bother me.
What does me? I host a show in the city.
Sure, but if you gave me I now have a horde of 10 draft picks over the next however many years to play with, that I'm either using to move up or down or compelling or drafting guys.
Yeah,
that you cannot pick a better way to build a roster in Portland.
You feel great about their draft history? We're hoping Young Hansen pans.
In this scenario, I have a new general manager because he's gotten fired.
Okay, well, now I'm buying him a different grief gift.
For drafting Young Hansen.
Now I'm doing an apology text.
In the first round of the draft.
I totally get what you're saying here, but no.
You're going to use all of your draft capital this offseason.
I got yelled at a year or 2 ago about how good Delano Banton was. This city can't handle losing, and when we get any kind of teammates or guys on the roster that produce in a bad team, I'm told how amazing and untouchable they are, and then you're like, oh, Delano Banton's on the Celtics, and he doesn't play any time at all. That's crazy. Hey, where's Jabari Walker in the Sixers rotation right now?
Not
Is he
playing.
out there?
Not playing.
Because I'm just told every year how untouchable or great all these young players are, and Anthony Simons got relegated to the bench before he got hurt in Chicago. So, like, we way overvalue everything, and we've already gone through enough years of crap to then get out of the
Trade
tunnel.
5 first-round picks for Trey Murphy.
Yeah, well...
and move up to the 6th seed. There goes our future.
Certainly competing.
Yay!
Well, I don't know. We don't even know.
That could happen. You know that could happen this offseason.
5 would be insane. 5 would be.
Would
nuts.
it?
Yes.
Who's better, Desmond Bane or Trey Murphy?
Desmond Bane.
Okay. Based on what? Because I think their numbers are pretty similar.
I just think Desmond Bane's a better basketball player.
Okay, he's a better shooter. Yeah, one's a little bit taller. Different positions,
Sure,
I get
you want
it.
the length, you want the... I get it. I totally get it. I like Desmond Bane. I think he's a good player.
There's a chance that happens this offseason, and that's your offseason. And then we'll turn back and remember, hey, remember when Dirt went on that rant on May the 4th be with you about how we should have sold our future to collect all these draft assets? We'll see who's laughing now. Now you know what we don't have? Any draft picks. You know what we are in the West? The 6th seed.
What if we did all
losing
this,
in the first round to Denver?
And then Denny went to free agency and didn't want to resign
and then
here.
He left. Yeah,
he did an interview, by the way, during the playoffs on the Old Man and the Three, and I didn't bring it up because it was in the middle of a playoff run.
Yeah, he talked about foul baiting and his teammates are getting a hard time.
Yeah. No, the one that stuck out to me and continues to is, look, if we give him the contract, he's going to sign the contract,
it's
right?
A max contract, yeah.
I don't know how in love with Portland he is.
There was a vibe of
he loves warm weather.
Yeah, it rains a lot here.
And
it does, Denny.
He was like,
thanks.
Yeah, it's very different here. It rains a lot, and it's got some good qualities to it. But I just like that guy wants to say what he can't say, which is like, I'm not a big fan.
Right.
I don't like being here. And he's a white guy.
Right. I like somebody asked though, like with the anti-tanking rules going into place, does that make multiple firsts have less impact? It's not less impact. It's just the odds are flattened, right? Yeah. So you don't have to be one of the 3 worst teams in the league anymore in order to get one of those top picks.
There's no doubt about it, man. Your idea is not the craziest. Anthony Davis might be it, but I'm in on the Giannis idea. A loaded 3rd and 4th hour. We got baseball stuff. We got college football to get into. Let's dive in. Hour 3, Dirt and Sprague on 105.1, The Fan.
From the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, three game sevens across the NBA and NHL yesterday. The Pistons knocked off the Magic 116-94 to complete their comeback, down 3-1 to win the series. Cade Cunningham, 32 points, 12 assists. ESPN's Shams Charania reporting the Magic have fired head coach Jamal Mosley after 5 seasons. Cavaliers beat the Raptors 112-102 to win that series. Jared Allen, 22 points, 19 rebounds. Pistons and Cavs in the Eastern semifinals starting Tuesday. In hockey, the Canadiens only had 9 shots on goal and still outlasted the Lightning in Game 7, 2-1. They move on to play the Sabres in the East semifinals starting on Wednesday. Also, the Avalanche beat the Wild 9-6 in Game 1 of their Western semis. The 15 combined goals is the third most ever in an NHL playoff game. I'm Brandon Henson from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Don't call your mom, call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
This is the Fan Sports Network.
Dirt and Sprague here, Portland sports leader, 105.1 FM, The Fan, 1080 AM, the Odyssey app, live on YouTube.
It's time to nut up or shut up.
Damn right it is, Dan. Good morning, everybody. Hope your Mondays are off to a good start. Hope you had a great weekend.
Ooh.
Let's do day one check-in. Did the AC stay off yesterday?
Here we go, man. Here we go.
Did you go over for it's already over? You didn't even make it a day?
You know what's funny is the wife goes,
It's only 90.
Guess you get to tell your listeners that you're still AC guy. And I go, you turned it on, not me. But I'm enjoying this.
You got to do
nice.
one of those. You got to get one of those like dad moves where you lock the box over it, so you can't. Nobody can touch the thermostat other than you. You got a little set of keys hanging from your belt. You're the only one who can adjust it.
Can I?
How late into how quickly into the day was it? Like, was it like super early? Of like, God, turn the AC on, Dad.
We turned it on Friday.
Yeah. Friday? It wasn't even that hot Friday.
Our house gets unreasonably warm, Andrew. What do you want from
Look,
me?
I'm only giving you a hard time because you pretended as if you could last a summer without air conditioning. As somebody who doesn't have in-house air conditioning, I looked at you like you were an alien.
I like to think that I can.
I don't think you can.
No? I guess we'll
you
never
are
know.
warm-blooded. I walked in today. It was like 78 degrees.
He turned it on. He does it for me.
Jesus, Brandon.
I do like it warm.
God.
I do love it warm. I'll be honest with you.
Smelled musky in here.
Yeah, it did,
Get a window, man. Somebody get us a fan in here.
I'd like to believe that I could live a whole summer in the Northwest without AC, but you're probably right. But I guess we'll never know. So, you're right. I'm right. We'll just have to kind of sit there and
Everybody's right. We're just going to sit here and reside in that territory.
Very random to tell you this, but do you know what I did Saturday night? I spent 39 and a half minutes. Yes, I clocked it.
39 and a half.
39 and a half minutes
a decent amount of time.
exploring the world and idea of me buying a bee box and getting bees.
Don't ever change, buddy. Don't ever change.
I've come up with names.
Where's
the way,
this box going to go? We're going to have a box of bees in our backyard?
You don't. One
do you
box,
need to notify your neighbors if you have a box of bees in your backyard?
You do.
That's got to be a courtesy heads up,
It's a courtesy
right?
thing, but if you actually put
Like
the
a
box
knock
in the
on the
right
door?
spot in my backyard, they're not going to get anywhere near. These bees don't fly way away.
They just hang in their box?
They go to their flowers, so the usual spots they're already at.
Yeah.
And then they come back to the box and use the pollinating and the honeys and the
They do the
honeycombs
things,
and
they
the
do the
things
thing and the
and the
thing and the
things with the
thing.
queen and the things.
Are
But
you a big honey guy?
I'm a big honey guy.
Big honey
I
guy?
put honey in a lot because I eat plain Greek yogurt, which is disgusting.
Horrible.
It's so awful.
so bad.
Here's the worst
Don't
thing.
bring it into work. Joe Fisher will steal it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. He's a thief. I use plain Greek yogurt as a sour cream substitute now, and it's not great, but it works.
What's wrong with eating sour cream?
I get more protein from the plain Greek yogurt, and also sour cream is pretty fatty, so I just...
Oh, come on.
Anyways,
God.
we don't need to dive into that.
You're not doing yourself any favors here.
So I've come up with the names.
Yeah, for your bee box?
No, for my honey, because if I
okay.
get a bee box, which the delightful Alicia Schroyer, our former coworker, she has bees.
I saw her bee boxes this weekend.
Don't you worry. We text, and I had a lot of
It's an
questions.
immediate reach out. How do you do the bee box thing?
So walk me through the queen. What did you do? Did you pimp her out? How did it all work? And she explained how it all worked for me.
Now, do you got to put the suit on and go get the honey yourself?
Yeah,
You got to cover up.
She gave me the bee box that she used, and it comes with the suit and the smoke you got
to spray them off.
Spray them, and kind of
God, no,
makes them
thank
dizzy.
you, dude. I want nothing to do with that.
I'm in on it. I've been stung. It's okay. It doesn't really hurt that bad. So I'd love to produce my own honey. My dream goal is to continue to hosting this radio show while still being at the Happy Valley Saturday Market selling my honey in a jar. Wearing maybe just overalls, no shirt underneath.
Howdy, how you doing, folks?
This
is honey fresh out of Damascus.
So here are my top 3 names of the honey if I jarred and sold my honey.
Okay, what do we got?
Taste my honey, and it'd have like a really sexy bee in a provocative pose.
We're talking like a bee in a bikini?
Like a female bee laying all the way on her bent elbow arm, looking like super, like with a leg bent over, wearing like a bikini and super red lips.
If I saw that label, it would intrigue me.
Brandon's honey pot, which, could also be me in a sexy pose.
That could be you. I think if you go Brandon's honey pot, you have to be the honey pot.
Just me in a Speedo.
It has to be you. And the Costanza picture. You need you, the Costanza picture.
That's what I was thinking.
Growling at the camera.
Right.
Wearing boxer briefs.
And then the other one would be the money honey.
I think I go Brandon's honey pot.
Really?
I think that's my top vote.
Brandon's honey pot?
I think Brandon's honey pot.
Just for the label?
Just for the label.
But if I gave you like a bee.
The label scenarios.
If I gave you a bee making it rain as my logo and it says money honey, I think and it says local underneath, I think you're
Is
more
there another
inclined.
bee stripping on a pole? And the same graphic? Do I get a stripping bee and a make it rain bee?
Well, in this scenario, she'd be stripping on a honeycomb.
Yes, I'm okay with that.
But it wouldn't be the most obvious stripping, but you'd be able to piece together.
You got to do what you got to do.
And if the kids are asking what's going on there, they'd be like, well, the bee has money. That's all this is. It's money honey.
The bee's paying for college.
Right.
That's what the bee's doing.
So this is my
Get
dream.
your head out of the gutter.
If I can't make Sprague's mustard, I then want to pivot and either do Taste My Honey or Money Honey. Or Brandon's Honey Pot, That's what I did for 39 and a half minutes Saturday night.
I love that this has become, and I'm horrible with this too. I just love that you're getting the reputation now on the show after the air conditioning rant, because you were motorcycle guy for a while and that never ended up happening.
I still am.
You wanted to be motorcycle guy.
These kids with these motorbikes make me jealous every day.
You're not losing your dinosaur, and for that I will give you credit.
I had an 11-year-old on Sunday.
Little moped.
Go slow, little electric bike that has like a fake dirt bike fender. He literally looked at us because we were in the front yard and he goes, and he starts doing like a wheelie. He's kind of a little chubby
These
kid.
kids are out of control,
And I'm
man.
like, dude, you're just in the middle of the
These
road.
kids
You're
are
going
out of
30
control.
miles an hour. You have no respect for the drivers on this road.
The scooters go so fast nowadays, too, that blows me away. One of the
Jealous.
kids in my neighborhood has one of those scooters, and he comes down. I swear he's going 30 miles an hour.
No,
on that
they
thing.
do go 30 miles an hour.
Sans helmet, and I'm
Yeah.
just like, I'm that old now of like, Jesus, dude, put on a helmet. Yelling out, you could seriously hurt yourself. What's the matter with you?
So I'm still into the motorcycle idea. My family's never going to let me buy one.
I just love that we've gone from motorcycle, not going to happen. Air
Yeah.
conditioning for the summer, certainly not going to happen.
it's over.
That will not happen.
Yeah.
And now we're on to we're a honey hive guy. Now this is going to be us. We're honey hive bros.
If I brought you a jar of money, honey, I think you get kind of excited.
Joe's saying you also wanted to get into archery. I don't remember that. Did you
Yeah,
go
I
on
had
an
an
archery
archery
rant?
vibe.
You had an archery
Yeah.
vibe for a while?
Yeah, I had it,
Okay. All right. Somebody said for his next trick, Sprague's going to say he could finish an entire large pizza on his own.
That's my
The
guy.
funniest thing is I still have a ukulele, which I'm going to learn.
Sure you will.
And my wife saw the
My
ukulele.
brother did that for a while. He got a guitar, and he pretended
see.
as if he was going to learn the guitar. And
Guitar's too complicated.
I'm
too
pretty
big.
sure he doesn't own it anymore.
I'm more of a ukulele man, as you can tell from my medium pizza days.
Yeah.
My wife has the ukulele on the bed. She goes, "Can you get rid of this damn thing?" And I was like, "Whoa, where'd I get rid of it? I mean, I'm going to learn to play this.
you got to hold on to it for a while. I haven't given up hope yet.
I'm a man of many goals who doesn't accomplish almost any of them.
I feel like that's the way a lot of people live their adult lives, though. You know, you have your hopes and your dreams, and the next thing you know, other things get in the way, and you're like, oh, yeah, remember when I wanted to do that? That's not going to happen
The
anymore.
joke's going to be on everybody else when I'm playing my ukulele,
bringing your honey in.
while the bees are producing the honey, I then jar my honey and I deliver it on my motorcycle.
That would be pretty
Still
cool.
playing the ukulele.
Still playing
the ukulele because it'll be a self-driving motorcycle.
Tesla motorcycle.
Yeah, Tesla.
Why haven't they invented those yet? Why do we have self-driving cars but not motorcycles?
That seems incredibly dangerous.
So do cars. Have you ever driven in one?
But at least the idea of getting in a car crash
you feel
with
safer.
an autonomous driver.
Yeah.
The motorcycle's like, what if it does screw up? You're dead. Like, that's a flat out, it's over.
It's over, brother. That ain't going to age well for you. Well, good luck on the bees this summer. I'm glad you turned the AC on. I had it cranked yesterday. It felt fantastic. That was like first thing. Kid went down for a nap early. He didn't sleep much on Saturday. It was like an early nap yesterday. It wasn't even that hot. And I'm like, get that thing going.
So you have an AC unit?
We have 2 window units, yeah.
The window units.
I mean, they're a bitch. You got to move them around. I can't stand them, but it gets the job. They're effective enough.
Can you add an AC to your house? Or is your house too old? Like
No, we could do it.
Okay.
You want to pay for it?
I mean, I know company.
You do know people.
Tell them Sprague sent you.
They got a good discount for me?
You tell them Sprague sent you. I mean, you got to wait and see.
Does that come for free? I saw this late last week. Wanted to play it because I was curious of just kind of the reaction to it. So they had in college football, there's this thing goes on in the South where there's like a bunch of coaches that show up for a golf tournament.
Oh, I saw this. Nick Saban talked. He was at this event as well, and he talked about the whole NIL.
Saban stuff is just, God, can that guy shut up? I think he's a great analyst on TV.
He's becoming insufferable of the lecturing everybody, and now he's like, oh, government needs to be involved. It's like, does it? Or can you guys just be adults about this?
Would you have argued that there should have been a government restriction of how many 5-stars you could sign in Alabama 7 years ago when you were building super teams and hoarding all of the talent, and now there's a disparity?
Him talking
about
roster and money, like he was saying, like, oh, places are spending $40 million, and it's like, Nick, I know you weren't spending 40, but like, we're really going to believe...
Stop it, dude.
Alabama Jones out here was getting every 5-star just because he was so awesome in the living room?
Yes.
Get out of here.
Now we need parity in the sport, but back when I signed the #1 recruiting class year after year after year after year after year after year, Nick Saban wasn't saying, you know what you guys should do? Why don't 2 of you 5-stars go play for Florida? And why don't you 2 of you 5-stars go play for Illinois? Why don't one of you go to South Carolina? Let's spread the wealth a little bit here.
You know what's funny?
Socialist.
I view it the opposite. I view him as somebody that's talking about this because he's butthurt that the SEC no longer reigns supreme. His beloved institution no longer is the slam dunk winner of all the 5-star talent. He's going to win the Natty.
I was out when they gave Kalen DeBoer an extension. Did I miss that day?
You did miss that day.
They gave him a 7-year extension?
I told Brandon, because we talked about that, I was like, I thought when I found out that news, I thought it was going to be an easier out of the contract in case they fired him. They did the opposite.
They went all in.
If they fire him, they're paying 90% of whatever's left on the deal.
Nobody feels worse right now probably than the team of the shirt that I'm wearing right now. Nebraska fan doing to Matt Rule what we all knew that they shouldn't do to Matt Rule. And then they're over under this year's like 6.5. And they are going to have to pay him $100 million if they want to fire him.
Hell no.
That's like crazy.
We all said at the time, you don't give him don't do it. Don't do it. Let him go to Penn State if he wants to go to Penn State. It's Matt Rule. What has he done? But I think number 2 has to be Alabama, because if they go 8-4 next year, what does that fan base want?
This is a football nightmare.
I mean, Jesus. Anyways, that's a roundabout way to getting to this audio. So Lanning was there. I think it ended up getting cut short. I didn't see any interviews of Lanning, but he was down there playing in it too.
Yeah, it's a free round, and he's got SEC roots.
Yeah, dude, fly you down. He gets to go see some of his old buddies. Yeah. I can't remember. I think it's in Georgia, but I can't remember exactly where. But this I thought was interesting. So there's a talking point now in college football about the Big Ten has won, I don't know if you're aware of this, 3 consecutive national championships.
Oh, God, let's freak out because they've won 3 in a row. Oh, God forbid. What did the SEC win? 14 in a row?
Somewhere along
Something insane.
It was they went on
8
a
in
run.
A row, 9 in a row?
I think until the
Florida State, right?
Florida State national championship. It was a long run.
Get out of here.
And even when they didn't win it, it was like one Clemson year, and then boom, here comes 3 more, LSUs or whatever. So here's Kirby Smart. He was asked by the host, and I had shout out to Brandon for whittling this down because the whole thing was interesting. If you want to go listen to the entire interview, I thought it was fascinating because it was kind of a light that you don't. Kirby's very open and honest about the way he talks about things. He's not very guarded. He's become kind of a voice for the sport, if you will, and so he's throwing theories out, and they're going back and forth. And here's Kirby Smart on the idea of the Big Ten being better than the SEC and how it has happened.
I just think they have a more competitive conference, like the top of their conference. There's
Right.
more good teams. It used to be Ohio State was good.
Yeah.
Like Michigan was really good. When Harbaugh had a great
Yeah.
team, Indiana's good. Like now they got Oregon. They got a draw. They have an ability to attract good players. Now NIL has a factor too,
Yeah.
for sure. But so does Miami. I mean,
Yeah.
so does Florida. I mean, people have money. More people have money.
That's right.
So I think the talent is spread out thin. Where
Yeah.
before in the SEC, it was a magnet to talent.
That's
the
right.
disparity was so great that it was like you couldn't mess it up. You'd win regardless. And now it's like, okay, it's more even, and it's just been 3 in a row.
And he went on to talk about, too, it's interesting because he's obviously been a part of a lot of really good teams, right? His first Georgia team had how many defensive guys drafted in the first round?
The
or
Bama
first
teams
title
he was
team,
DCs
right?
of.
And he talked about how, but he said some of those Alabama teams, the best ones that they had, I think he said 12, 13, and 15. He said if they were to play the best teams in the sport now, they would mop the floor with them. Because
I don't think he's wrong.
They were so much deeper.
And they had come back. They
Right.
ran it back a lot.
Dude, they were
yeah.
so deep in that his first Georgia national title team had 6 defensive guys in the first, whatever the crazy number was.
Mm-hmm.
And it was interesting just to hear him talk about that and how he goes into years now terrified of X, Y, and Z, and we're not going to be able to compete at the highest level because we're not deep enough here. We don't have enough talent here. And because he's comparing his rosters to the way that they used to look or the way that they did look when he was a D coordinator at Alabama. And then they've gone out and won the SEC the last 2 years. And he said it's been an adjustment for him to change his mentality looking at his team and what they can or can't accomplish. He also went on to talk about how there's a lot of chatter in the SEC about how they don't have the same grind as the Big Ten because the SEC is deeper, and outside of the top 4-ish, 5-ish, however many you want to label in there, teams, you're not really getting pushed by teams that are near the bottom of your conference. And his argument and other SEC coaches were that they push you more in that conference. But he acknowledged that they've been lapped. He said he even sits back and thinks that they have better coaches than us. Like, how have they won 3 in a row? Because that's in the face of all the SEC pride, and their pride's been hurt a little bit the last couple of years.
I do love. It's very refreshing to hear Kirby speak. I think he's incredibly honest and real, and talking about the difference between what one conference is and the other one has been, I think, is right. That being said, the only thing he doesn't talk about accurately, and I think very honestly, is his team driving cars. Other than that, I think he's really refreshing.
Other than those issues off the field?
Those issues.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you this based on just last year's standings, okay? And I know some of this is a little different at this point.
Yeah.
These 7 coaches, and if you want to add 8 because of the guy at 8, you can do that, okay? So if you want to add 8, Bielema, Jed Fish, Ferentz, Kyle Whittingham, Lincoln Riley, Dan Lanning, Ryan Day, Kurt Signetti.
So top 7-ish
Those
coaches.
are 7-8 coaches
of the
okay?
Big Ten. Probably Big Ten standing wise.
Southeastern Conference.
Yeah.
Pete Golding.
Okay.
Kirby, Elko, DeBoer, Sark, Venables, and Vandy's coach. I'm blanking. Clark Lee. Like, that's the 8 you speak of. And then Missouri, if you want to add Eli Drinkwitz, you can do that. Yeah,
Drinkwitz.
But basically, when you comp it, I think this is kind of the point to me. I think some of these coaches in the SEC, DeBoer made the playoff and got a win, but so far that hasn't hit people the way people thought it might in the first 2 years, so wait and see. Sark made the playoff and then didn't make the playoff.
He made it twice, to be fair. They went in the final 4-year, lost to Washington, and then the next year they beat ASU and then lost to Ohio State.
No doubt, but
so he's been there twice, but I see the
not
point.
making it last year.
He hasn't won a title yet.
Yeah, and they were preseason number 1 for everybody last year. And I know preseason's rankings don't mean anything.
They will be again this year.
Venables, I don't know how long that shelf life's going to be because Oklahoma's kind of a weird program.
It was a nice step for them this year to get to the playoff, but yes, to your point,
I have no idea if Golding's good.
No.
I think Kirby's right here, and I don't think it's the team is because of the coach. So Signetti, Day, Lanning, and then let's see where Riley, Whittingham. I think Iowa's always kind of has a max of a 9-win season, really, because it's Iowa and it's Ferentz. But I think he's right, man. The top end of the Big Ten is incredibly difficult, and if Riley gets USC in the right direction this year and gets to a playoff contending spot, and I know they were kind of close last year, and then Whittingham rights the ship, at least and gets Michigan more into what they were pre-Schroen-Moore scandal. Yeah, man, that's 5 teams deep at the top of your conference. It's hard to have that many teams be great.
Yeah.
But what we do is, and we're still doing this, by the way, because of that title run, for most of us as college football fans, we still every year go into it and we tell ourselves that the 5 at the top of the SEC are the best ones, despite what the Big Ten has done the last 3 years.
Yeah, it's interesting because there's no question, and you cannot argue against the idea that the Big Ten has the best teams in the sport right now, because when you win 3 straight national titles with 3 different schools, mind you, they got a bit of an NBA thing going on, right? Like it's not an Alabama dynasty. Or even when the ACC broke through, I know Florida State had the one with Jimbo, and then they kind of went sideways. It was Clemson. It was Dabo, right? Like it was one program that was kind of doing the heavy lifting.
Yep.
You had Michigan, whose head coach then left, and then it was Ohio State, who finally broke through, and then it was maybe the greatest coaching job in the history of the sport that we've ever seen. So you've had 3 different teams do it. There's no doubting the top-end talent in the Big Ten and the national title contenders that they have. Like I feel good about going into a lot of years looking at 3 or 4 teams atop the conference and saying you're some of the best in the sport. The one area that I will say I think SEC coaches are right, and I have felt this my 2 years watching Oregon in the Big Ten, I don't think that the gauntlet is what it is in the SEC. Like, I think both things can be fair. I think the SEC is the deeper conference in terms of teams that if I had to play them, they would put a little bit more of a scare into me, but they don't have the top-end talent necessarily that they've had.
So
in
they're more
years past.
gettable by the bottom tier versus
right.
the top of the Big Ten is never going to get got by the bottom of the Big Ten.
I'll just play this game in my head, and then a couple other college football notes I want to get to next. Like, how many of these teams do I look at and I'm like, Oregon playing Minnesota?
Right. You don't stand. Minnesota stands
Not
no
that
chance.
Minnesota can't beat you, or there's not a world that it doesn't exist. Like,
but it largely is not
I'm not
happening.
scared going into the game, right?
Yeah.
Nebraska right now.
Yeah.
Illinois.
Yeah.
Like, there's just that middle tier, I think, has been the biggest question about the Big Ten. You hinted at it in the last segment.
Yep.
Which is it Michigan? Is it Iowa? Is it Washington? Is it finally Lincoln Riley? Like, who can take the jump from there into a legitimate contender?
Yep.
Is a big question about the conference. We also had some of the financial details come out around what the new schools in the Big Ten are making. And if anybody was wondering, was it the right idea? I will tell you, yes. The answer is yes. I'll give you some of those numbers, talk a little bit more college football. We'll get to the ponies at some point this hour, and then a legend in the sports world passing away. Back after this, 105.1 FM The Fan.
Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
This update brought to you by Reynolds Defense Firm. If you've been arrested for DUI, you need a team of attorneys that you can put your trust into. Call Reynolds Defense Firm today, online at reynoldsdefensefirm.com. First on the fan, 3 Game 7s across the NBA and NHL yesterday. The Pistons knocked off the Magic 116-94 to complete their comeback, down 3-1 to win the series. Cade Cunningham, 32 points, 12 assists. ESPN's Shams Charania reporting the Magic have fired head coach Jamal Mosley after 5 seasons. Cavaliers beat the Raptors 112-102 to win that series. Jarrett Allen, 22 points, 19 rebounds. Pistons and Cavs in the Eastern semifinals starting on Tuesday. In hockey, the Canadiens only had 9 shots on goal and still outlasted the Lightning in Game 7, 2-1. They move on to play the Sabres in the East semifinals starting Wednesday. Also, the Avalanche beat the Wild 9-6 in Game 1 of their Western semifinals. The 15 combined goals, it was the 3rd most ever in an NHL playoff game. I'm Brandon Henson from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
This is the Fan Sports Network.
All right, welcome back in. Dirt and Sprague here, Portland sports leader, 105.1 FM, The Fan. Enjoyed a couple of these thoughts. Fan text line 503-864-6326. Sprague's business slogan could become Explore Brandon's Honey Hole.
Sprague's honey hole. I like that.
Sprague's honey could be a good grief gift, people are saying.
A great grief.
Sorry you lost a parent. Here's a jar of honey. Does that make up for
Here's
it?
Sprague's honey hole.
What's the label for that one?
That's a great point.
It's definitely got to be me with my butt as the hive and the honeybee flying in clearly what is my backside, and I'm turning around smiling. But like
stinger out. It's got to have a stinger out. It's got to be a visible stinger there. Somebody said you could offer honey shots as samplers.
Dude, I'm in.
You want a honey shot?
You don't love honey?
You'd be the guy. I don't eat a lot of honey, no.
Really?
It's not that I'm anti-honey. It's a little too sticky for me. Sometimes it's more of a problem than I need to get into. Don't tell me you don't have that feeling. When you put honey on something and then like the knife gets too far down the jar and now it's on your fingers.
The knife?
Or like however you spread. Sometimes you spread honey on a toast. You don't use a knife. How do you get your honey out of the jar?
Squeeze bottle.
Well, I usually have a squeeze bottle.
Oh, well, I home grow my honey, so I need a jar.
You do?
No, I don't.
Yeah, you don't.
But occasionally we have. I don't always have a squeeze
There's
bottle.
jars.
I know
there's
are.
definitely jars that I get. I usually am a spoon guy.
The only thing I ever eat with honey that I haven't made in a long time because I can't eat chili anymore because my stomach's too messed up is cornbread. Cornbread and honey is like
Cornbread
undefeated.
and honey is such a good duo.
Outside of that, I'll put some in like a tea every once in a while
What
if
about
I'm
a peanut
feeling
butter
sick.
and honey sandwich?
I'm not opposed to it. I just don't need it. I like peanut butter enough on its own.
Peanut butter banana honey sandwich is pretty elite.
Yeah.
Another thing with honey in any parfait has to be in there. Okay.
Do you think I'm eating a lot of parfaits over here?
Well,
do I look like a parfait kind of guy to you?
You do when you wear a black shirt.
I'm wearing a black shirt today.
Yeah, you are.
Do I look like a parfait guy?
That one's hugging your body pretty tightly.
There's not a lot of parfaits in my past or
right.
future.
Jeez, all right.
All right.
Sorry.
Brandon, big honey guy over there. You pro honey?
Like honey?
Yeah, I like honey. I like what you said about tea. I have to have honey in my tea, otherwise I can't drink it. It's just dirty water, as Ted Lasso would say.
What about honey on like a nice meat pizza? Little pepperoni,
like a hot honey pizza. Like I've had that before.
What do you mean?
What's the matter with you?
Jalapeno, pepperoni, sausage, and then you drizzle a little honey on top. That's a good thing, yeah, that's a thing.
I mean, I'm not saying it's not a thing. I'm just saying it's not a thing for me. Like I get people that do that. It's kind of like pineapple on pizza. Like I understand that's a thing. I'm just not. I'm out.
It's not a go-to, but it's definitely a nice change up if you want to.
I'm just saying, like if I got like a slice of ranch pizza, That's a delightful little Detroit-style pizza.
Yeah.
They got some good toppings. I drizzle a little honey on top. I'm in on the fancy pizza. Now you're a fat ass. You do the me pizza, me crowd, me call, me eat. Like, that's you as a pizza eater. We're different. We have different vibes, man.
I like a big slice of cheese that I can fold in half, and that's all I need with some red pepper flakes, and I'm good to go. I don't need anything more than that to make me happy.
Red pepper flakes with the honey
what
is
that does?
actually perfect.
It fills my honey hole, man. We were talking about the SEC and the Big Ten in the
That's
last
all
segment.
after. Fill
That's
your
all.
honey
You
hole.
just got to fill your honey hole, dude. Find a way to satisfy it.
Sprague's honey hole.
Take your hand and put it down your pants, son.
So we're talking. Kirby Smart had comments about how the Big Ten has jumped the SEC, and he was very honest, open. It was a great back and forth. Next Round Live, by the way, was the show that took place on. It's an SEC football show down there in Alabama. This was also interesting. So this came out Friday after we were off the air. I believe Friday afternoon is when this came out. But we have the financial details of what the Big Ten is distributed. Let me tell you, brother.
We're in the bees, buddy.
It's a lot of money.
We are in the bees.
If you're looking for another reason of why the Big Ten has jumped to the SEC,
Speaking of the honey hole,
allow me to present this evidence to you. Now, do you remember what the rumored Pac-12 deal was? A local reporter told us it was a done deal. The Pac-12
it was a done deal. Same deal as the Big 12.
40% chance to Seattle, and it's a done deal. The Pac-12's not going to collapse. And it was going to be, what were we talking per year? Do you remember?
Wasn't it like 23?
23,
Am I wrong?
25?
23, 24? Yeah, somewhere in that range.
Maybe you do a tiered thing where there's some that make a little bit more than others, but you're looking at a $25-ish million, ballparking it to stay in the Pac-12.
Never going to get the new Pac-12 media deal, are we?
No, it'll never happen. This came out on Friday that with a half share, you know how much Oregon made their first year in the Big Ten? Or I guess this would have been last year, I'm
I
assuming?
do know because I saw the story, but yeah.
$48 million.
Yeah.
As
but
a half share.
Didn't they, as a conference, have to split like $1.2 billion?
It was actually $1.37 billion.
Yeah.
Averaged $72 million per school, and that is including Oregon and Washington taking the lesser share. Washington brought home less than Oregon because they didn't make the playoff that year. Ohio State, in year one of the new media deal, made $91.55 million. I'm going to repeat that. $91.55 million. Then it went Penn State. It was tiered. This was from 2 years ago. $88.9 million for Penn State, $81 million for Indiana, and then the next 13 members were 76-ish to $79 million. And then it was Oregon at 48 and Washington at 46. So even for the Huskies who didn't make the playoff, they still were damn near doubling whatever the reported deal was for the last year of the Pac-12. And this is why it was always a no-brainer. And when we're looking for reasons of why this has happened, like this, I remember doing this segment last year on Indiana, who seemed like such a Cinderella story. And in theory, they are based on their football history. You know how they're not a Cinderella? Financially.
Yeah.
Their operating budget when it came to football over the last 2 years, they spent as much money, if not more, than anybody in the entire sport, including on the roster. They spent a ton of money to bring in guys in the portal last year. And they have the money now to back. I mean, that was 2 years ago, $81 million. It's only going to go up from whenever we find out the details from this year. And this is the interesting conundrum that the SEC finds itself in, is that you now have, I think, schools with richer alumni bases in terms of donating for NIL reasons.
Oh, yeah.
And you also have a TV deal and this is, look, people can feel however they want to feel about my program. This is the one that I will stand. What did Danny and Patrick do? They're 10 toes down. The fact that Oregon's only at $48 million is laughable. They've been one of the biggest draws in the conference over the last 2 years.
They won it the first year in.
Won it the first year in and went undefeated. They beat Ohio State in the regular season, and I get that their playoff failures have been their playoff failures. They are a national draw that generates eyeballs coast to coast, and this has, I think, been the biggest move that the Big Ten could have made, whereas the SEC went and got Texas and Oklahoma.
Yep.
And Texas has been good, and Oklahoma finally made the playoff this past year, but it didn't really get them outside of their original bubble. Those were already perceived. Texas was already kind of in our head perceived as an SEC territory because they already had A&M and Missouri in the conference.
I'd argue they made a mistake.
They're still in their footprint.
I still think I know it may not financially look like it on paper, but
it does compared to the Big Ten because this is not lapping, but this is significantly greater than what the SEC brought in.
Well, it's greater, and then also like the Big 12 media deal. What's that if Texas, Oklahoma don't bail? Right? They're probably getting somewhere close-ish, and guess what? Guess who's still reigning supreme in that conference? Them. You're not getting Arizona State winning the conference.
No.
Who won it last year?
Georgia's won it the last 2 years.
No. The Big 12.
Texas Tech.
Texas Tech. Thank you. Texas Tech is going to.
That took way too long to think.
I know.
Wait, what? Well,
the way they played in the playoff game, I'm actually going to excuse myself for getting that.
That is true.
Texas Tech is at the forefront now because of their donations and the way the boosters are working for them. But, like, I still think it was a mistake for Texas and Oklahoma to bail.
Yeah.
And while it may have been a mistake so far for USC and UCLA, it's not been a mistake for Oregon, at least in football. It's maybe hurt other sports, but football is the one that matters the most. And to look at the financials given out here, it sucks that they still have to make all these ridiculous travels and they have to go to the East Coast, and like that stuff sucks.
Can I tell you a wild stat on that, by the way?
But they've only lost one game in 2 seasons of Big 12 play.
In Big 10 play, yes, which is wild. I saw this stat over the weekend because it's funny how we use the travel. Like basketball gets this a lot. You'll never compete in men's basketball doing the Big 10 travel thing.
Yeah.
In 2 years now, Oregon has been in the Big 10. Their softball team has not lost a single series.
Well, your baseball team might be better off, too, because the Big Ten, it kind of
the Big Ten blows in
baseball.
baseball. So that's benefited them greatly, getting away from Oregon State and Arizona and, some of the other powers that were previous. Arizona State had been historically good. UCLA. Yeah. Well, UCLA's still with them.
Well, touche, yeah.
But the softball one made me laugh of like, wait, I thought traveling was hard to do. They haven't lost a series in 2 years. They've lost a game. They haven't lost a series in 2 years. So traveling doesn't impact softball, but it impacts basketball.
Also, the women's basketball team made the tournament this year.
Right.
It tends to be just men's
and they were
okay. Like, I don't know about this.
The travel, man. You're going to hang on to it. But yeah, it was a good indicator of where they're at and where they're going. Financially, it makes a lot of sense for them. It's double their money from the last reported deal of what the rumored extension was for the Big Ten.
Yeah.
Or excuse me, the Pac-12. I will say, too, the SEC, because I was curious, I pulled up the number. The average per school in the SEC was 72. And the average in the Big... averages ended up being slightly similar. But there's also more teams in the Big Ten. And when you consider the average with 2 teams in the Big Ten taking a half of a share, as in Oregon and Washington, that just tells you some of the gap. Like you just got middle-of-the-road Big Ten teams that are making $10 million more than top-end SEC teams.
Is there any reason
part of it?
Washington, I saw somebody break down Dellinger's report that Washington made $2 million less. Is that just about...
So it's from 2 years ago, because this is from the fiscal year 24-25, and I think it's a playoff bonus for Oregon, if that makes sense.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Because Oregon was in the playoff 2 years ago, and Washington was year one under Jed Fish.
Okay.
So they weren't in there. So there's some financials for it of, that's why they made the move, and it makes a lot of sense. And the Big Ten's going to continue to pile up all this money. Being a coast-to-coast conference sucks for a lot of travel reasons, but it also brings in eyeballs from Los Angeles to Piscataway, New Jersey. And it's a unique thing that the SEC just doesn't have, all kind of being in the same footprint.
You're not wrong. I also, to kind of tie it back to the other local school, they're in a new conference this year, the Pac-12. We have still not gotten on a per-year basis what the media rights deal is, which I just tell you, as
not feeling good.
It has to be terrible. The number would be out there. It's no different than Kliavkoff not giving us the media deal. But we'll see what that's going to be for them, because I don't think they're the biggest spender or a top 2 spender in that new conference. I think that's Boise State and Colorado State.
Very well likely could be. And hopefully we get details on it at some point in the near future. Did we watch the Ponies this weekend?
Oh.
For the first time in a long time, I actually not found a way. I know how to watch it, but I actually was around my TV when the race happened. So what did we take away from the Ponies? And then a legend passed away. We got some baseball stuff still to get to as well. We'll dive back into our poll question of the day as it pertains to Giannis and the Blazers and the offseason rumors that are running rampant. We are back after this. 105.1 FM, The Fan. Listener question.
That's some good ones, too, on the poll question, by the way.
Yeah, we'll get back to that in the final hour. Somebody asked him, when does Oregon get a full share in the Big Ten? It's when the media deal comes to an end, which I believe the last year is 2030.
That's ridiculous.
Which is still going to, I mean, look, the money's still better than what it would have been in the end of the Pac-12. If Oregon continues on this run, I'm going to yell about this every year. It's laughable.
We don't need to yell about it every year.
Penn State making $89 million.
Yeah,
like, what are we doing here?
Purdue.
Who beat them in the Big Ten title game?
Freaking Purdue makes more than you.
Who eliminated their coach in their program last year?
Exactly.
Like, just get out of here. Everybody should have to siphon $10 million off to give to us. By the way, another good point on the YouTube, that kind of one of them randomly, too. All of the West Coast teams are doing some of the best recruiting in the new Big Ten, too. Have you seen what UCLA's doing with Bob Chesney? They're scooping up 4 stars left and right.
I didn't know anything about Bob Chesney before the playoff game.
Old Bobby C. Not familiar with his game.
And my takeaway from the playoff game was Oregon literally didn't care, even though Lanning doesn't like his team to operate that way.
Yeah.
And, they gave up some points and some yards. I came away just like, how about this being a great moment for Bob Chesney? And I've noted, I know UCLA's been in a bad spot, but I like that hire a lot. And he is off to a fantastic start in recruiting.
They had a decent number of people at their spring game, too. Don't worry.
I think he's going to turn it around for them. I don't know what that means. I don't know what a win-loss turnaround for them looks like, but I think they're going to be a tough team in the next year or two because I think that guy's a really good coach.
USC, the number one recruiting class last year. Washington is up their profile to a top 15-ish, 12-ish kind of recruiter. UCLA's off to a good start, and we know what Oregon's been capable of. So that's another good point about how the West Coast is kind of holding their own in that regard.
The conference, I wonder if it's opened more doors to people from around the country of like, oh, it's more accessible to watch my kid play because they're only going here and I don't have to go way out there all the time.
Helps a ton.
2, I also think it drives internal pressure. So DeBoer was not recruiting very well, and I don't know if he would have turned it around at UW versus what he's done at Alabama. But Jed Fish is a big guy. Like, let's get some talent in here. He turned that, around, and we've seen what that's been.
His recruiting class has been significantly better than the two. I mean, he's been there the same amount of time as DeBoer. They've been better than what DeBoer put together.
Lincoln feels like he's operating on the hot seat now, going forward between now and whenever it ends, if it does end. Chesney is I won at this level, I can win at this level, prove it guy.
And the last guy who won at the level at his school is now the most talked about coach in the entire sport.
And we know what Dan Lanning's been. So I almost wonder if the conference profile has elevated and forced a lot of these coaches to say, we can't be doing what we're doing in the old Pac-12. Like, we have to keep up with you have to keep up with Ohio State.
Yes.
We got to keep up with Michigan. We got to keep up with, Penn State when they're relevant. Like,
this is the point, though, of the Big Ten.
Your hand.
Without a doubt. This is also the point of the Big Ten, and then we'll get to the ponies here in a second. They needed these schools. Like, the Big Ten is the best conference in football because they've won 3 straight titles. That's just kind of the way the game works. The SEC didn't need Texas and Oklahoma.
No, I agree with your statement.
The Big Ten, you just started rattling off team names, and then after you get past Michigan, who, by the way, their last head coach just got,
he
got
that
end for him.
Yep.
And Penn State just fired their coach.
I know.
So who do you go to after those 3?
Well, you could tell I was reaching, couldn't you? You're like, Penn State when they have the right coach.
You got to keep up with the,
the Minnesota,
the Purdue's of the world.
But the Ohio
That's why
State,
they needed these teams on the West Coast.
Well, now it's Indiana.
Now
right?
Indiana has uncertain. Yeah, they are unquestionably in that conversation.
And their profile is raised to the last 2 years, and we'll continue to monitor, see if it's continuing to go up.
Totally true.
I just to Kirby's point, the mere pressure at the top of that conference. Lincoln Riley's not there to finish 6th.
No.
He's there to compete for national championships. That's why they gave him the contract they gave him.
Never won a playoff game.
Right. UW, make the jokes you want because they're a rival. They were in the national championship game a couple of years ago. They got absolutely gutted, and I don't know if Jed Fish ever gives them over the hump, but, man, he's really restocked that roster pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
So I just think the top is so elite that it's forcing all of the hands, plus Dan Lanning and what he's done at Oregon, I think is also doing the reverse thing to the other Big Ten teams of like, damn, we can't stand to that standard. We got to get better.
No doubt about it. I think it's going to make jumping from that middle tier to the top tier difficult because it does seem like there's so much talent accumulated in those top 3 or 4 schools, Ohio State, Oregon, and Indiana.
Yep.
And we'll wait and see. Maybe somebody else has the ability to do it. I did watch the Washington spring game, by the way. I finally got to it. It was Friday night. I thought it was Saturday.
How'd it go?
I mean, it was fine. It was funny. You know me. I have to take my one moment to make fun of their program. They didn't boo DeMond, by the way. No boos. There might have been
They're
murmur.
not going to.
They didn't do it.
Not until he has a bad game against a big team.
I did chuckle because we had a Husky fan text in on Friday. Was like, dude, if I was playing left tackle, I'd let the DN go on the first play. I sent him a message. I'm like, that's coming from a Husky fan. I did chuckle though because Jed Fish did a pregame interview and he was like, we're not going to be a circus like some of these other spring games. We're going to take it seriously. And then he let guest coaches come on and call a red card on a player and play a play 11 on 10, which led to a tight end throwing a pass on third down and getting intercepted.
This was after he said out loud, we're not going to
before
have
the game.
a
He's
circus?
like, we're not going to be a circus. We're here to play football. We're going to take this seriously. And then there's like guest coaches calling trick plays and red cards on players. Like, what? Okay, what are we doing? You do whatever you want in your spring
You
game
want a
or
fun
whatever.
spring game thing? If you could get the right waiver wires signed, give me Corey Dillon signing an okay. Can
go
Corey
play one
Dillon
more
still
game.
bust a 5-yard?
He definitely could.
You think so?
I bet Legends would want to do it. If you gave Marshawn Lynch the chance to go run a Cal spring game, you're telling me he would say no to that?
Would Cam Cleveland pop an Achilles or
Yes.
run a clean seam? I have questions, man. John Ross, how fast is he still?
He's 4'2". Is he
Is he
playing
still
now? I don't
4'2"
know.
guy?
Is he in the Arena League? This happened over the weekend. I finally got a chance to watch it, and the call never disappoints in the race this year. I can't speak for other years. This year,
Oh, the tempo.
pretty solid.
As they come to the last 16th of a mile, Denon Bourbon in front. Oh, selling a huge long shot. Renegade and Golden Tempo are closing too. Here's Golden Tempo. Golden Tempo and Cherie DeVaux make history in the Kentucky Derby.
Dude.
Great call.
Well, first of all, the call is actually always great.
Always great.
There's never a year it's not great. This is debatably one of the biggest events I think any broadcaster could actually call.
It's quick. It's over in like 90 seconds.
Dude.
It's super fast. The other thought
It's
I had
crazy.
watching it. Now, do you know what that guy's name is?
I don't, but
Okay.
he is
He's
awesome.
always done the Derby. I think he does. I found it unique because Tarico's hosting like the pregame coverage.
He does all the pre-race stuff.
And
Yeah.
he's also obviously a massive play-by-play guy. He's a
Yeah.
lead guy for NBC.
Yep.
And I just chuckled of like, how many other sports operate that way?
Where the biggest
Where
name
Mike
is the main?
Tirico is one of the biggest names in the sport, then tosses it to the other play-by-play guy. That was unique.
Well,
Does any other sport operate that way? Maybe Olympics
I
do?
think, is it Larry Colmus?
I'll take your word for it. I don't know.
Google AI is saying Larry
Okay.
Colmus. He's a legendary longtime race caller.
He's been doing it forever. You've heard that guy's voice for my entire life.
Now, here's the interesting question. So, I think Larry Colmus is great every year because I catch this race every year. It's
Yes.
like I skipped the pre-race
I was glad that I found it,
festivities.
man. It was fun. And I had money on a horse. It didn't end up winning, but it made watching. I was doing the Kramer thing in the living room, and Teddy Ballgame started to do it next to me. He was like, he was like doing it.
right.
Come on. He was like, come on, 11. Come on, 11.
Where did your horse finish? Where did it place?
7th or 8th.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
No chance.
Didn't get out of the gates the way it needed to.
You know what it made me want to do? It made me want to go to a winery locally that does like derby things where you have to dress up.
You want to wear the hat and the
And
suit.
there's a little
and the
bit of
whole
like,
thing?
I'm never going to Kentucky for this race, but I would love if I could go to like a local winery.
It would be fun to do.
That would be a lot of fun because you know that they do that.
Have some money on a horse.
When it's an upsetting horse, there's a little more to that call. It's not that it's not a good call every year. 23-1 odds horse. And if you saw the overhead, this horse was second to dead last at the turn.
It was nuts.
It
Came out of
made
nowhere.
up 7 to 8 lengths worth to come back and end up winning that thing at the very end. That was an unbelievable finish to a race where you're like, where the hell did that horse come from?
Came out of nowhere, man.
Came out a complete back. They already have posted a photo of him laying in hay, and people are like, damn, that horse is hungover.
That horse is hungover, and he is going to have a lot of fun in years to come.
A lot of sex. A lot of sex in that horse's future. Now
First
you get
ever
to stud
female
it out.
trainer, right? Did I get that right? First ever female trainer. That was a big deal. She
Now
was all
she
over my
gonna
TV.
Stud that thing out to the females.
Yeah, it was fun, man. I felt bad for the one horse. There was one horse who got tossed their rider right at the last second, and he couldn't even run. I'm like, dude, right before the race? Just crapped out. So
Some
fun.
of those horses get a little nippy.
Yeah, they did. They got a little nippy. It was fun, man. It was a lot of fun. I watched Kentucky Derby first time in a long time. My horse did not win. Neither did Dazzling Dame, but, you know, you got to keep taking your shots. Lots to get to in the final hour of the show. Let's get back into the rumor mill of the weekend and your thoughts on it because we got our poll question of the day up on that. We'll get to some baseball notes as well. Loaded final hour. Don't go anywhere. Dirt and Sprague, 105.1 FM The Fan.
McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, 3 Game 7s across the NBA and NHL yesterday. The Pistons knocked off the Magic 116-94 to complete their comeback, down 3-1 to win the series. Cade Cunningham, 32 points, 12 assists. ESPN's Shams Charania reporting the Magic have fired head coach Jamal Mosley after 5 seasons. Cavaliers beat the Raptors 112-102 to win that series. Jared Allen, 22 points, 19 rebounds. Pistons and Cavs in the Eastern semis starting Tuesday. In hockey, the Canadiens only had 9 shots on goal and still outlasted the Lightning in Game 7, 2-1. They move on to play the Sabres in the East semis starting Wednesday. And also the Avalanche beat the Wild 9-6 in Game 1 of their Western semifinals. The 15 combined goals is the 3rd most ever in an NHL playoffs game. I'm Brandon Henson from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
This is the Fan Sports Network.
Let's do this final hour. Dirt and Sprague here, Portland Sports Leader, 105.1 FM, The Fan, 1080 AM, the Odyssey app, live on YouTube. Good morning, everybody. Hope y'all are having a good Monday, had a good weekend.
Oh.
Beat the Heat yesterday.
Nottingham Forest up 3-0 at Chelsea, getting out of relegation zone. What a little Monday.
We got a Chelsea fan texting in, upset with you this morning.
I literally hadn't mentioned it all day until right now. Why? Why are they upset with me?
Because, you're not washing your
We're out of
ass,
relegation
man.
with this win, buddy. My season, I can breathe now. Every week has been hold my breath. They finally are out of relegation zone with this win.
The forest can see through the trees.
You know what? You know how much it would have sucked to finally watch soccer, care about soccer, and pick a team that's relegated?
Why are they playing Monday morning at 7 a.m.?
So the late schedule of the Premier League is very interesting. So they're doing the Europa League, right? They're in the semis right now. They just got a win against Aston Villa.
The league is the Europa League?
It's a separate tournament that they're in. They earn the right to be in it last year.
This is the tournament or this is a game?
No, this is the Premier League.
Okay.
But the Europa League is a series of teams together. They played their way into it based on what they did last year.
Okay, so they have the Europas coming up?
They're in the semis, yes.
Okay.
They just beat Aston Villa on Thursday.
It's going on simultaneously to the regular season.
Yeah, it's a very odd thing. I'm still not used to it, but I've gotten used to it.
So
Does that make sense?
Do they play everybody in every game, or do they load manage games for the regular season games?
So they don't load manage them completely, but they do have to tweak minutes and rotations. Not so much at the beginning, more at this end. So this is the back end now. We're only a couple weeks left of the Premier League season.
It's almost over.
And so we've basically been in a dogfight while trying to win another tournament while simultaneously trying not to get relegated. But they're red hot right now. The Reds are rolling. And this win will basically guarantee we will not be relegated because Tottenham's been terrible. That's a great goal by Chelsea. Tottenham's been terrible, and so is West Ham.
Okay, all right. What do you get if you win the Europas?
You're the Europa champion.
Okay. Is that like the championship? That's not like the championship, though.
No, it's a different tournament.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's just a different thing.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Following along. Brandon, you got this? Are you a soccer guy, Brandon?
I'm not. I'm getting there because I do all the Thorns games. And
you're getting thorny.
I've never gotten around to it. Even when I went to Europe, I went and visited a couple of those stadiums, and it's cool and all, but
Did you go to a game or just visit the stadium?
I did not. We didn't have time on the inventory.
Look at this. Watch this dude. Just a straight, bam. Falling backwards, kicking it forward into the goal. That's an amazing goal.
You know what that is?
Yeah.
And Chris Paul hits a 3 to make the lead 147-82.
You're not wrong.
Game 7 of the conference finals.
Yeah, I'm having a good Monday, though.
You are having a good Monday.
I will never explain soccer to you again.
No,
I don't really understand all of it either.
None of it makes
learning.
any sense.
All right, I'm trying.
They're kicking the footy around. That's all I know.
I've been following it, though, and you doubted me.
You made it a full season.
I've caught every match.
You have. You stopped talking about it on the show, so I stopped giving you a hard time. But I'll allow you the ability here. They're playing in the middle of the show. So congrats to your Forest. Sorry to our Chelsea fans out there, if any of them existed. The only Chelsea guy I've ever known is Drogba, but evidently he retired a long time ago. He used to be really good in FIFA. That's the only reason I know that.
Well, Roy Kent, of course.
Roy Kent. I mean, who could forget
he played
Roy Kent?
Chelsea.
Dude, we didn't talk about the new Ted Lasso trailer that came out.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's a money grab. I don't care.
It's obviously.
It obviously is a money
Sure,
grab.
it doesn't matter.
Everything now.
They
in
wrote
the
that to be
entertainment
done, and
industry
it was
is a money
obvious.
grab.
I
Gonna
wanted
be money
more.
grab.
I wanted more, and I want to be happy. There are so many negative things in our world.
I'm with you.
And
I'm totally on for you.
one of the few things that brought a smile to my face and for a brief moment allowed me to forget that we're all going to die into eternal blackness was watching Ted Lasso. It put a smile on my face.
Or heaven. It just depends on your beliefs. We don't know what happens. You can't prove anything.
First grieving gifts, and now we're talking about eternal blackness.
I know.
I'm just saying.
You're so bleak, dude.
I saw a lot of
What is wrong with
pushback
you?
when they came out with the trailer. There's a lot of pushback of like, "Oh God, this is gonna suck. This is terrible. How do you spin it?" Because he was moving back, and it just was like, "Can we just enjoy something?"
Well, it's clearly been a couple years because the kid is different and older.
Yes, couldn't get the same actor back.
I don't really care either.
It's gonna make me laugh. It's gonna make me smile, and I'll probably cry, and I'm okay admitting that.
It's written by Jason Sudeikis, Brendan Hunt, and Bill Lawrence. Hot take. Oh, and Brett Goldstein. It's going to be good.
Dude, Brett Goldstein writing himself into a romantic thriller with Jennifer Lopez on Netflix too.
God bless that man.
Like, you know what you're doing.
I love Brett Goldstein. I think he's pretty good in Shrinking.
I've never seen Shrinking.
Good show.
I'll just tell you this: if Bill Lawrence has his name on a show,
You're
it's
willing to
good.
do it?
Like, are you watching Rooster on HBO with Steve Carell?
I am not. No.
You know who's in that?
Who's in that one?
Co-starring with like a legit role in it? Phil Dunphy.
Phil Dunphy.
Or Dunster. What's his name?
Dunster?
Jamie Tart. What's that guy's real name? What? What's his name?
You just threw three different names at me.
The guy who plays Jamie Tart.
Jamie Tart. Oh, I don't know what his name is.
It's Phil something.
Dunster.
Dunster, I told you.
Phil Dunphy is the character from Modern Family.
The kids are rewatching it in my
And then
house
you
every day.
made
I'm
me-
sorry that I said Dumpy instead of Dunster.
I thought you were like
blame my kids.
playing the Oregon angle there. If you should watch it because he's an Oregon guy, and I'm like, oh, Phil Dunphy's got a job again. Is he?
No,
worked?
Jamie Tart is in it. He's
outside
good
of
in it.
outside of voice work for Oregon football. Has Phil Dunphy done anything in the last 5 years?
He's in one of those commercials.
I know
He's
is.
on like an airplane.
Yeah,
and- Anyways, you're skipping the point. If
Jamie Tart.
if Bill Lawrence writes it, watch it. It's good. Him and Michael Shore are probably my two favorite
I agree
TV
with that
writers.
point. That's a good point.
The Inside Man with Ted Danson. You watch that show?
No, I have not.
Dude, Ted Danson is just such a TV icon.
He's got all these TV time, man. I don't have any TV time. I'm watching that documentary about the mob right now.
That's okay. I just finished the B one on the Nat Geo channel. I'm about to watch the Attenborough Gorilla one on Netflix.
You can go vote on one of our poll questions of the day. Sprague producing his own honey. What should the name of the honey be? Sprague's Honey Hole, Money Honey, Brandon's Honey Pot, or Taste My Honey.
I think those are pretty good.
Those
We got
options
some
are up
solid Sprague's Honey Shot. It's a pretty good one. Dude, the honey shot with a bee leaking down on the honeycomb would be pretty good as an image. Yeah. We also have Sprague in the Hive.
Sprague in the Hive's not bad.
We've got BJ Sticky Syrup. Because of my initials. BJ Sticky Syrup's a pretty good one.
What is it? It's honey.
I gotta give a lot of credit on that.
Oh, it's honey. Oh, okay.
So my mom is a reality television trash viewer, right? She watches all of these mob wives, Real Housewives of plastic surgery, and their faces are frozen, their lips are injected. Like, I don't know, I'm not talking about it more. And then the guys are getting arrested half the time because they're laundering money and crypto. She watches all this trash. Mm-hmm. The one that she watches that she just got me onto was the latest season of Alone. And my mom cannot legitimately run a mile. She would collapse.
Like if you asked her to do it.
Even
with like a slow jog.
Yeah, I looked at her sitting on the couch next to me. She's eating ice cream, and I go, Mom, how long alone would you last? And that's where they dump everybody into.
Yeah, you're out in the middle of nowhere.
On your own. You got like 8 items. You got to make your own shelter. And she takes a bite of ice cream, legitimately turns and goes, 3 days.
No chance.
And I go, not a chance in hell would you last 3 days on Alone, which then made me wonder, how many days would I last in the Arctic? That's the latest season. These dudes were using line on sticks in holes, catching fish 45 pounds. I can't do that with real fishing gear in warm water. How?
I'd make it 3 days. It'd be all right.
You think you could last 3 days?
Yeah.
Tell me we got Giannis.
We did not get Giannis, no. We do have a hire, though, that has taken place in the NBA.
Oh.
Friend of Tom Dundon has been hired, but not in Portland.
Nico.
No, not Nico. Masai Ujiri?
Yeah, he's also co-owner of the Toronto Tempo.
He has been hired by the Dallas Mavericks as the new team president and alternate governor.
Oh, I like that.
I like that, too.
Now, it didn't end well for Masai in Toronto.
No, it did not.
Many people note that Kawhi trade maybe upped the profile of what his tenure was, but...
I mean, they were a good team, and that move paid off and put him over the top. It could not have gone better for him. I also, I don't know, outside of that, he had to go against LeBron in the East every year, and Toronto was a contender year in and year out, but they just were never quite, they just couldn't handle the LeBron problem. That was their biggest issue.
Well, that's one name that is maybe on the radar. How much would you give up for Kawhi? For a team that has no draft capital and is about to get hit hard by the NBA for their Kawhi stuff.
I wouldn't have any issue with that.
Would you take the risk on Kawhi?
I would, yeah. I mean, if you're not going to do my option of
blow up,
which certainly will not happen.
That's not what they're going to do.
No, then you're going to, name me the guy who's not a risk. This is the part that I do just chuckle at from time to time. But every name that we bring up, there will be a pushback.
Yeah.
And I'll get to the honest stuff in a second because we have a pro question today up on that. Okay, so that one's not good enough? All right, Anthony Davis, too banged up. Giannis can't stay. So what do you want them to do then?
I don't know, man. It feels like there's
always
going to be a group of Blazer fans that largely think adding guy like Trey Murphy and running it back outside of him is just that's going to lead you to
We
the
went
most
from
success.
42 wins to 44 wins. Now our gray pants are blue.
Yeah.
Now we lost in 6 games in the first round instead of 5 games.
Yep.
It just doesn't change the calculus very much. Nice hire for Dallas. Look, their ownership group's been a disaster.
I mean, that's a good PR win.
We knew the
him.
Nico stuff was it just aged. It was horrible. The Luka Doncic trade was terrible. Then Anthony Davis gets traded the next year. And so, you wouldn't got a guy who's got a decent track record in the NBA. And not the biggest of news for me, but still relatively decent size nonetheless.
That was somebody that, remember, I think it was Quick's piece.
He said that he was talking with Dundon.
He had a conversation. Now, obviously, he wasn't going to... Messiah was going to command a lot of money.
Yes, he was.
And the Adelsons tend to have a little bit more than old Tommy D and Tommy Two Nickels, but...
Also, are we going to have a new president or a GM, or are they both back next year?
I mean, at this point, isn't it pretty
why
clear
are
that
we...
it's Joe Cronin?
Right.
Well, no, the piece was just to highlight that they were willing. He was having conversations. He was asking around.
I didn't know if that was about a conversation about potentially hiring him or more about, let me just pick your brain about the NBA.
Well, we don't know what the conversation was. We just know that they talked.
Very true.
I think we're all concluding and thinking it was about hiring him, but very well could have just been, hey, man, what have you learned from the NBA? I'm new to this.
He also got ESPN making a run at Steve Kerr, so he might not even be in the coaching circles this offseason. They're trying to throw a big bag at him. Let's get back to our neighborhood restaurant group poll question of the day. We put this one out there earlier. So the rumors went viral again this weekend, at least locally, because Blazer fans are reading them and getting fired up about them. That, according to Jake Fisher, their number one on their big board this offseason will be Giannis Antetokounmpo. Now, they flirted with the idea around the deadline. They did not end up pulling the trigger, whether that was because of not getting guaranteed the extension from Giannis or the asking price was too much or a combination of the both. Somebody got cold feet. I don't know.
I'm also not convinced it was Giannis versus it could have been AD.
I do think that they were I think they at least were calling about it.
I think they
definitely were
interested in
AD as well.
The deal that Dundon saw, who was that? That's what we don't know.
And the one that Cronin mentioned at exit interviews, we also don't know because he talked about a younger asset in that regard, and none of these guys are younger assets.
Yep.
So I don't really know. That could have been anybody. But we brought up the question today of, does trading for Giannis make you believe the Blazers have a chance at knocking off OKC or San Antonio? Before I get to the results, I did want to read a couple of these comments. One of our listeners said, getting him alone, no, but once you snag the big fish, the rest of the dominoes would fall, make things easier. But that move alone, no way. You thought we were bad at shooting before. Woof. Another one, has Giannis been healthy in the last 5 years? No. Okay, so the answer is no. And we pointed that out earlier of that's a little misleading. He's been banged up at times, but this idea that he just hasn't been available and on the floor, it's just not true, and it's not rooted in any sort of facts.
So I tried to, reason with Ben a little bit here, and I believe Ben would reason. If he could have played 50 games last year, which he says he could have, they just shut him down.
He played in 35 or 36, and they wouldn't let him play in the back half of the year.
If we take that out, the 5 years prior, he's averaging 66 games a year. You know how many games Denny played this year?
66 games.
So if you just give me 66 games...
That's pretty good for NBA standards. I think
I'm cool with that.
The Giannis one, memory holding a little bit, the fact that the injury was such an impactful one in the playoffs, that they went down. Like that first year him and Dame were together, remember, he went down.
Yeah.
Last year it was reversed. Dame went down and Giannis was the only one available. But 2 years ago it kind of derailed their season. They ended up losing in the first round of the playoffs. But yeah, the idea that he hasn't been healthy in the regular season is just misleading. Another one, only if they add shooters and the right players. I mean, adding other pieces will be difficult because a lot of your capital will go there. To that point, Bob mentions it depends on what you have to give up. And two other people say, no, absolutely not. And I don't think it puts me into a mind frame of saying they will beat Oklahoma City and San Antonio.
No.
But one of the things that I've hit on, like just in my life as a Blazer fan, and I know that Blazer fans, this is a vast spectrum, right, of belief or non-belief, and wherever you fall on that spectrum, whatever, you can do what you want with your fandom.
Interesting group that way.
I can tell you in my adult life, the number of times that I can talk myself into them having a legitimate chance is probably twice. One of them I look back and laugh at, and it was the Dame year against Houston because he was young and that group had been together for a while with L.A. and West and Batum and Lopez. And they finally won the series, and then for me it kind of dissipated the way they lost to San Antonio in the second round of the playoffs.
They needed clear bench help,
and
which
they couldn't
tried to do.
Get it, and then a Flalo happened, and then West towards Achilles, and the rest is history. That team crumbled the next year. But there was a brief moment there of like, man, this young player, Aldridge is an all-star. Like I could like
good nucleus of vet guys.
That gave me some hope.
It was
and
a good lineup.
It disappeared. The only other time, and this is why when we interviewed him, it was so much fun, was when we drafted Greg Oden #1 overall. Like, we all went there in our head of Roy is already a budding superstar. Aldridge is coming along. He might be a 20-point-per-game guy. If you package an elite defensive center and a guy who's throwing down every alley-oop around the hoop, like, that's your power trio. Like, that was the only other time in my life, and the one legitimate time I'm like, I could see this being a championship-level team. And so just the idea of being able to sell that to yourself mentally is exciting as a fan because it has not happened very often over the last 30 years.
Well, no, and you know they're going to charge more for tickets. So, like...
Jody charged more after tanking seasons.
Right. No, I'm just saying, like, if you're going to charge more in an economy that every day seems like it's worse and worse, you want people to pay more money, well, you got to give us a product. Is paying more money for the same team gonna make you feel great?
No.
I don't think it would.
Nor should it.
I don't know if Trey Murphy does that for you. I don't know if Corey Kispert does that for you. You can think what you think about Giannis, and I totally understand the logic, the injury concerns, the age, the contract. Very fair. But it would absolutely raise the profile of the team, the franchise, and your excitement level. Now, could we be heartbroken? Yeah. But we've had not a lot of heart to be broken.
It's my entire life, man.
Last,
That's all I know.
10 years. We got a Western Conference run that nobody thought we would win that series, even though they were shorthanded. We got swept in that series, by the way. And we should have traded CJ. We never did. And so, it's just a lot of, great moments. There's no doubt. But I think to answer this question, I do think it gives you an idea or belief. Executing that is an entirely different outcome.
Yes.
Beating OKC, I'm not going to say they do that.
No.
Beating even San Antonio, I'm not going to jump there. But I wouldn't go into the season completely dismissing the idea that if healthy, we might be a problem in the tough out.
3 seed or 4 seed, yeah. I mean, that could make some noise
Minnesota
in the playoffs.
might lose in 4 or 5 to San Antonio. What if Ant Edwards plays?
Yeah.
What if DeSomo
right
comes back? Now that team might be a problem. You know who's going to guard Ant Edwards? Steph Castle. You know what Steph Castle does? He fouls a lot. Well, what if Steph Castle's not out there? Well, you got De'Aaron Fox. Yeah, you still have Wemby. What if Gobert's great again against Wemby and is not the easiest guy to score on? You just don't know. My biggest takeaway from the NBA playoffs so far, outside of the Eastern Conference, when I look at the West, if you go get a Giannis, you're throwing your hat in the ring. Now, do you have as big a hat as everybody else? You don't. But right now, we're the guy who runs down the Royal Rumble, and people kind of like him, and then they get thrown out within the first 2 minutes, and it's kind of like a comically short run in the Royal Rumble.
Yes.
We have Giannis running down that tunnel.
You're in the Rumble for 10 minutes at least.
You're at least going to be featured.
Rumbling for a while.
Is The Undertaker still going to body slam you?
Yes.
Probably. He's probably going to choke slam you and then give you the tombstone pile driver. But you know what? I'd like to see my guy jump off the top rope with a shot. That's all I want.
I love this. I think perfectly sums up the fan base. 503-864-6326. That is the fan text line. Back-to-back texts. No to Giannis, no to Anthony Davis. They aren't worth their value, not worth gutting our future. Blazer fans thinking Giannis is the answer is silly. Another one, any Blazer fan is nuts to not want Giannis. He would be one of the greatest players to ever play for the franchise. You trade for him all day. every day. And I think that, again, highlights the wide spectrum of Blazer fans that we have out there. What I would ask, though, to the original texter, and I get it, because I brought this up with Desmond Bain last year. I feel this way about some players. If Giannis isn't worth gutting your future for, who is?
Well, how are you
And
playing?
this is, by the way, considering you would get, like, they're not doing the trade unless you get an extension out of him. If you could get him to agree to an extension, it's different. For a 1-year rental, I totally get the fans who say I'm not doing it because that's dumb. In 1 year of Giannis, I don't think you're winning anything next year.
Yep.
But if Giannis with an extension is not worth rolling the dice and gutting your future, who's the player that's going to come available that is? And is your alternative just running it back and being a 7 seed, the Neil O'Shea style for the next 3 years, and pretending the Dame and CJ are going to win you a championship? I'm curious on that front. We had a lot of texts. We'll give you the updates, by the way, on the poll question. Read some of those. I do want to get into a couple of baseball notes as well, because a couple of teams had rough weekends, mine included, and a legend in the game passed away. So we got a lot still to get to in the final hour. Back after this 105.1 FM, The Fan.
a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
This update brought to you by A&E Plumbing, Heating, and Air, serving Portland, Southwest Washington, and the Gorge. Online at aneheatingandcooling.com. It's hard to stop a train. First on the Fan, the Portland Thorns, hottest team in the NWSL, maybe the hottest team in town right now. They won their third straight match yesterday in a 2-0 win over the Chicago Stars. That's 3 straight wins in 8 days, by the way, and undefeated in 7 of their first 8 matches this season. Top of the table in the league with 19 points. Next match is Friday on the road at Racing Louisville on our sister station, 94.7 KNRK HD2.
How about some news down under? The New Zealanders are worried about the Kiwis.
Hello, Governor.
They've lost 9. That's not...
Same thing.
No.
They took over. They sent their prisoners there, actually.
They've lost 99% of their Kiwi population, and now New Zealanders are starting a grassroots initiative called the Capital Kiwi Project. They're trying to save the kiwi bird. It's lost 2% of its population every year.
Kiwis are a delightful fruit, too. I don't eat enough kiwis.
They got to be perfect. When they're not...
I'm pro-kiwi.
I like kiwi, but if they're not
Pro-kiwi.
perfect, they're not good. They're like a plum.
Our old cheapo Tom Dundon, he wouldn't shell out for shirts for Game 1 and Game 2. How dare he? That's the reason we're not in the playoffs anymore. If we would have had shirts, or I guess Game 3 and Game 4 it would have been.
Yeah.
Does he get credit for maybe the best marketing idea I've ever seen? Did you see what they debuted for Game 1, Round 2 of the Hurricane second round?
I did not.
So they're playing the Flyers in the second round. They're a wagon. They haven't lost yet in the playoffs, by the way. They debuted a skate beer shoe. You just Google Hurricane skate and it'll pop up. So basically it's a beer mug that's in the shape of a skate.
Gotcha.
It looks like it's the size of 60 ounces of beer.
It's like the boot?
It's like the boot, but
Yeah.
does skate.
The skate.
And they sold out after one game
That's
and
cool.
made an incredible amount of money.
Yeah, deserve. Let's do that.
That's Brandon, and Andy from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
This is the Fan Sports.
The update's going to be a little weird, not going to lie. That one's going to take a while to get used to. Hello, everybody. Things are sounding a little bit different today. If you are wondering if it's you, no, it's not you, it's us. But thanks for being with us nonetheless. We love you. Slight tweak, but we're having fun with it here day one. It's the idea of making big trades in the NBA is hilarious and fascinating. And what an offseason we have in store. I mean, I remember coming back. I went to Hawaii a couple weeks ago, got back. It's a week or two left in the regular season. I can't remember if the blown lead against Denver was right before I got back or right after I got back. But
Well, it was before because you remember you had cited it several times.
Yeah, and I thought to myself of I'm just really excited to get this season over with because I'm excited about an off season and there's some hope that maybe something will actually happen and it's not just going to be a run it back, which is what the Blazers have largely done over the last 15 years of yeah, we were a playoff team, let's pat each other on the backs, we were a 7th seed, bring it back, internal development. And then guess what doesn't happen? Internal development. And guess what happens? The same exact thing the next year that did the year previous. And so I'm excited, man. There's no right or wrong answer here because nobody knows what the future holds and what player you go out and get or risk taking will actually pay off for you or what the asking price is going to be.
Yeah.
It's fun for me, and I think the takeaway from today and from the weekend, because the Blazers were all over, Stein had stuff in the news. They were all over the map this weekend about rumor deals that could be going down. This is just kind of a breath of fresh air of this is the world we're living in right now, and I don't know how many or if any of them end up happening, but there's a realistic thought that something big could potentially happen this offseason, which I haven't had that feeling in a very long time.
Well, I mean, you think about the years previous. I mean, let's go back 3 years. What were we talking about? Is this guy going to be good? And then largely agreeing they were going to be a terrible team, right? And then they were terrible. The guy wasn't great or got injured, and it was all right, cool. And then you fast forward, you're hey, we got Denny. Let's see if this trade was a mistake. Hey, Denny's off to an awful start. Hey, Denny, how about Denny? And then it was, going in and you've made some tweaks here and there and you took a step. But I'm with you. I don't even disagree with people that are super against it. I would kind of just more ask this question. I can see why you'd be against the idea of Giannis, and I can certainly understand why you don't want the Anthony Davis idea. I can also see the organization standpoint. We're going to raise ticket prices. Other things around here are going to be different. So well, how do we get you interested even more than you already are? Those names certainly would do it. If week one, night one,
Anthony Davis is in the
starting lineup with Damian Lillard coming back.
We are such liars. We are so excited as a fan base.
Right?
We can poo-poo it all we want right now for all the question marks. The first time he has a 30-point game, do you know what people are texting into our show?
Exactly. I'm with you. But I understand why people are texting in, no, thank you, never in hell. Like, I don't want that. I get it. Here's my only follow-up to both of those people. Or Kawhi, if you're anti-Kawhi. If your best deal is Corey Kispert, Jarris Walker, Trey Murphy type, well, where does that take you next year? And then I want you to follow that up with, how are you building this up? I agree actually with something a listener once told me was, what we took for granted was the idea that every year at the minimum we were a playoff team. I agree with that. I didn't always like being the bottom-tier playoff team that was going to get their teeth kicked in, but there is something to building a stable culture of, no, that organization is professional, they know what they're doing. Now, you do need to take the risks when they're presented to you, but for those people that don't want to take a huge risk, the caliber of Giannis, I'm merely asking, how are you building this out then?
Right. What's the plan?
You're just going to keep collecting a Trey Murphy every offseason? Because financially that doesn't work.
No. Also, how many first-round picks are you giving up to go get Trey Murphy?
Well, and
so you don't want to mortgage your future on Giannis, that's fine. You got to use 3 first-round picks to get Murphy?
You just want to wait till the 2029 draft so we can get a 19-year-old kid in here who might be good but not going to ultimately help you when it matters most? See Charlotte with Concanipple? I'm not saying I don't want good young players. I'm more just asking, like, there's so many people against rolling that dice. Papa needs a new car here. But you can't ever tell me at your end, so you're just waiting 4 years and slowly be a 6-7 seed who gets eliminated largely most of the time. That's where you kind of lose me. If you can give me a real blueprint and the organization can give me an idea, cool. I'm not against it. It's more like a Giannis leap is doing what you and I are talking about. You might not have a chance to win against San Antonio or Oklahoma City, but you got a greater chance if he's on that court.
Yes, it gives
than
you a little
with him not on it.
No doubt about it. Right now, the daily poll question brought to you by Neighborhood Restaurant Group. 57.4% of you say yes. It does make you believe the Blazers have a chance at knocking off Oklahoma City or San Antonio. You can go vote on that at Dirt and Sprague. On Twitter, it's going to be a fun offseason, man. I can't wait to kick it off. We just got to get these stupid playoffs out of the way. Let's fast forward. All right, I'm ready for my lottery this weekend. Give me the draft. Let's go. Let's start making some moves. When's free agency opening up? We got a ways to go.
You excited for the second round?
Not really, no, to be honest with you.
You're fast-forwarding in the West, aren't you?
I'm super stoked for Philly, New York. I can't wait to watch that game tonight. I think it'll be a lot of fun, unless Philly has the Game 7 hangover, which I could see. But I just Garden, Embiid, that's going to be awesome.
Yep.
Cleveland and Detroit does nothing for me. And OKC LA, I will admire LeBron, and I will appreciate watching LeBron. By the way, he's the same age as the 2 head coaches in the series. They're all 41 years old.
So did you see, not to make this too much of a Lakers segment, I think they're going to lose in 4 or 5.
Yeah. And if Anthony Edwards comes back, then I'm interested. But if Anthony Edwards doesn't play in game 1, I'm out.
So, we don't make this a LeBron segment. I do think, given we didn't get to talk about it, Game 6, I mean, did anybody else with a brain watch that? He literally controlled the entire game. It was like from start to finish, no, you're not going to 7. We're getting out of here.
I'm done.
And I don't care if KD plays, not plays. That's kind of the Kevin Durant story anyway. Like, that dude's 41, and he's telling every kid out there.
He didn't have Luka Doncic, who's the best player on his own team. Did not play.
And Reeves is still clearly coming back. Like, he's still dealing with the comeback. He was unbelievable. That was like a prime LeBron game of just controlling every element of the game. Did you see J.J. Redick and what he said about Oklahoma City? Because they were asking, hey, how tough is it to defend this team? And he said, basically, our analytics staff has calculated that the advanced analytics are saying that this team is as good as the repeat Bulls teams in the 90s and the 2017-2018 Warriors with Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
It's like our advanced analytics are saying this is the 95-96 Bulls
I think in
and
terms
the
of
2017-2018 Warriors.
Yeah. In terms of a net rating or a plus or whatever,
It's
like 3 times in the history of the league it's ever happened. It was the Bulls in the late 90s, the Warriors, and then this Oklahoma City.
The 72-win Bulls and like the unbeatable Kevin Durant Warriors.
Yeah,
like,
I don't think this is going to happen in the second round for the Lakers.
No.
I don't think 41-year-old LeBron's going to be able to do it.
Luka's not coming back.
Luka's not coming back.
Reeves is still, whatever. Like, yeah, they got their one playoff series.
Phenomenal storyline to knock Houston out in the first round, and now there's all sorts of questions about them. But yes, I'm with you there. We did lose a legend in the sports world today. 87 years young.
Is this a legend in the whole sports world?
Oh, I don't
just
know.
Just the sport or
just
question. Mainly a region?
I will say this.
I knew his name. I'm not going to pretend.
Let me ask you this.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah. How many baseball radio voice names do you know?
Good question. So you got Buck, you got Niehaus.
No, I'm talking currently.
Oh, currently?
Like all time, sure, you can name a few of them over the years.
Well, yeah. I think a time and place is different, though.
Okay.
Now is a lot more difficult.
Buck didn't do radio, though. I believe he did TV.
I think he was radio.
Did he do radio for the Cardinals when he was young? Because he took over at Fox when he was like 15 years old.
No. Not Joe.
Jack Buck.
Yeah, Jack Buck.
Okay.
Yeah.
Vince
Scully, right?
Okay. So we're up to 4.
Guys.
So that's
John
my point.
John
Miller. He's still doing it. He's still kicking. The point, though, is that the list isn't very long.
This guy was a radio guy when radio guys were radio guys. Yeah.
Well, John Sterling passed away. He's a longtime radio voice of the Yankees. He was still randomly popping up every now and then. Like they needed to put him out of pasture because it got bad. He had a call a couple years ago when Stanton hit what appeared to him to be a home run, and he said, "What happened?" And he didn't quite know.
Well, he retired, remember, and then he unretired. Yes. And remember they gave him a television?
They did. Like a Vizio, 42-inch Vizio.
85-year-old man's like, here's a television.
Old. How am I going to get this home? He's going to need somebody's help plugging it in. Anyways, we did want to take a moment. So this is his call. Kudos to you. You wanted to pull some... I
was going to pull the stand call.
Some lowlights. I said, let's give the guy a little, let's give him a favor here.
He also had a Rick Riz moment.
He got hit by a foul ball. It's a primetime drop. That's a glorious one whenever they play it. Ow! Ow!
Ow! I got hit with a ball.
It's an all-timer, but here's John Sterling calling the 1996 World Series.
The stretch and pitch. Swung on and popped up again. Off third. Hayes has room. Hayes makes the catch. Yankees win. The Yankees win. The New York Yankees have won the 1996 World Series. They have surmounted every challenge. They have climbed every mountain. And the New York Yankees are world champions.
Obviously, his fan. The Yankees win.
You counted 10 seconds after that call from the out on third base, and I cried.
Yeah.
10 seconds after
little
that
Sprague
out,
in his bedroom.
Little Sprague, living room. Not loudly, quietly to myself, because nobody in my house likes sports except me, and I was just devastated because that Brave team should have repeated.
Should have repeated.
They blew that series. Liritz and his cheating ass.
They have a kid lean over the wall and steal a home run in that one, too.
Also, that has become like a legendary-ish call. Did he mean for it to be the Yankees win, or is it, is it an accident?
He forgot the first time they won a game. The Yankees win! And R.I.P. to a legend, John Sterling, 87 years old, passing away. A couple other baseball notes, and how about that hockey, baby? How about that hockey this weekend? We'll close it up there, get you set for your night in sports. Next, 105.1 FM, The Fan. Well, I know the game 7 yesterday, or 7s, I should say, yesterday in the NBA sucked. Did we watch any of the hockey? Did we see the hockey? Did we see the highlights? Did we follow it? I knew my guy Brandon did.
Brandon always does.
He's a hockey guy.
Blue Line Brandon. Come on.
It's the real Blue Line
I think we have the legitimate Blue Line Brandon here.
Whoa.
Taking the crown.
The real?
Yeah, I mean, your Oilers got bounced in the first round. They're acting. I mean, it is DEFCON. What's the highest DEFCON you can go to?
Isn't it 3?
Is 3 the highest DEFCON? Whatever.
Or does it go to 1?
Whatever is. I can't remember if 1 is the highest or 5 is the highest.
5? Who has ever said DEFCON 5?
I feel like I've heard
You've
DEFCON
heard DEFCON
5.
5?
DEFCON 1 is the higher number bigger or the low? Like which is
Here
the
we go.
scarier DEFCON?
So there is 5 DEFCONs.
Okay, see?
On veteran.com.
Thank you very much. Stick that in your pipe and smoke it.
So DEFCON 1, war is imminent.
Okay, so it goes
DEFCON
5,
2,
4,
hostile
3, 2,
action.
1.
DEFCON 3, increased regional tension. DEFCON 4, regional tensions requiring greater vigilance. And DEFCON 5, normal readiness.
Okay, so DEFCON 1 right now in Edmonton. They're freaking out. McGee's has got 2 more years left on his deal. He says we're not good enough. Everybody's hair's on fire up there.
DEFCON 1, Iran and Edmonton.
Yeah, that's where we're at right now. I think it was DEFCON 1 in Montreal yesterday. So the Bell Center is where the Canadians play.
Mm-hmm.
That is their arena. They are the last hope for Canada to end their Canadian Stanley Cup drought.
Yeah.
They played the Tampa Bay Lightning in Game 7 of the first round of the playoffs.
Yep.
This series, by the way, has been fantastic.
It's been a good one.
Game 6 was incredible. Went to overtime. Tampa eked it out. Montreal had a chance to close it out on home ice. They lost in heartbreaking fashion. We got to go back to Tampa. You know who the head coach of Tampa is?
Right.
Thank you. John Cooper.
Exactly.
As
Legend,
you were going to say,
Canadian.
John Cooper also coached what team?
The Canadians.
Technically, you're not wrong. He coached Team Canada in the gold
that's
medal
what I was
game.
saying. The Canadians.
Nailed it.
Yeah. The Canadians are
Do
the
you
Montreal
remember
team.
the gold medal game between USA and Canada and how it transpired? How they outshot us 1,000,000-1,
Yep,
and
we
somehow
won.
Team USA won the game.
Yep.
Well, guess what? It happened yesterday. The Canadians had 0 shots on goal in the second period. I'm going to repeat that.
0.
For 20 minutes. They didn't register a shot on goal. They had 9 for the game. 9. And they won. Did you catch a niner in there? You caught a niner in there.
Yeah.
And this was on the CBC newsroom. They had a reporter go live. The Bell Center where the Canadians played completely sold out.
I mean, you would have thought the game was there. There was not an empty seat in the top section to the bottom, like ice area.
So the CBC's doing a news hit, and they're like, hey, the game's going on. Let's send it to our bro out in Montreal. He'll give us a news hit, and here's how it went.
So fans want the Montreal Canadiens to bring it home, but it is a tough matchup. They haven't been shooting a lot. Right now, the shots are 24 for Tampa Bay and 6 for Montreal, but Montreal just scored a goal. The Habs just scored a goal. Let's look at what it looks like up in Montreal. What a scene here.
Guy sounds like he's never broadcasted before.
Has just scored a goal.
Oh,
the
my
Montreal
goodness.
Canadiens are up 2-1 right now.
I mean, the crowd eruption was hilarious.
Let's do that hockey.
The game was insane. I mean, the Canadians advancing is good. Eliminate the state of Florida. I'm so tired of Florida winning Stanley Cup. So the Panthers didn't make it. Now the Lightning are gone. So we don't have to worry about the state of Florida anymore. And Canada still has hope going into the second round of the playoffs.
I hate to be the guy that does this to you, but I need to. You need to separate how you're saying Montreal's team and the general population here.
Oh, am I? Okay.
It's very confusing for us hockey diehards. You're talking about the
Canadians.
Yeah.
Not the Canadians.
Not the Canadians. They're the Montreal Canadiens.
Dude, it was wild. Like, if you're John Cooper.
This guy over here, new to hockey. I mean, what do you want me to do?
Brendan.
Brendan. If you're John Cooper, dude, so he lost the gold medal game to Team USA. That's a Game 7 in the playoffs. I want to say the final number, maybe you know this, but I think it was 29-9 were shots on goal.
Yes.
Does that sound right? 29
yep. Plus
They
20,
outshot Montreal 29-9, and they lost the game. They outshot, so his two teams, Canada and then Tampa, outshot USA and Montreal 71-37 in the two combined games and lost both of them. It's absolute insanity, but good for Montreal. They're going on to the second round of the playoffs. That delivered last night. We get the second round of the NBA playoffs beginning tonight.
I got a juicy little one.
And it's not bad, dude. Like, starting out with Philly, New York, solid. And then game 2, to me, incredibly incumbent on the fact does Anthony Edwards play. The line, by the way, for the games tonight, the Knicks at home game 1 favored by 7.5. And the Spurs at home in game 1 favored by 11.5.
Yeah, we'll see if Edwards play. If he plays, I don't know if I have an expectation of him doing anything. So I don't know if I think he's going to play.
I'm not going to touch that game. I am going to gamble on Philly tonight.
You know, Minnesota's interesting. I understand why you're taking Philly. Who would you rather have, Maxey or Brunson?
Maxey.
Why? Because he's younger?
Yeah.
That's it?
I mean, I don't really have a rhyme or reason for it. He doesn't seem as ball stopper-ish, if that makes sense.
More of a sharer of the ball.
More a sharer of the ball.
Yeah,
I also find
sharer.
him more aesthetically pleasing to watch.
I love when he
finishing around the rim is mind-boggling.
He's just so quick.
It doesn't make sense of, like, how did he get that? He's got a little Kyrie in him in that regard of, like, how did that, what? Yeah. And he's, like, making underneath, reversed up. Like, Brunson just seems like dribble, fade away.
Can you imagine being the guy that told Joe Mazzulla to challenge and then instantly figured out
that was such a funny moment.
It's so funny. He's
no. And he tries to pretend as if he didn't. No. I was just calling a timeout.
The guy
like,
on
no,
the iPad
dude.
instantly just like saying, "You challenge that," and then looking at it from the other angle, going, "Oh my god, I'm gonna get fired. I'm gonna get fired." Mazzulla clearly yelling at him on the bench, like, "You just wasted."
How about Jaylen Brown, who 2 years ago won an NBA championship and was Finals MVP?
Yeah,
coming out saying this was his favorite NBA season he's ever been a part of.
It's because he got to be the number one. He was the entire face of the organization.
He should be, because he's better than Tatum. He carried him all year.
He was pretty good in that game. I did love him coming out and saying Joel Embiid's a flopper. And he said the refs hate him, like they hate on him. Like, come on.
It's just bad timing of it. Like, I think that's a fun off-season conversation about the epidemic of flopping in the NBA is not fun for anybody to watch,
Sure.
and we need to get rid of it, but there's just only so many things you could do. Saying it the morning after Game 7 when you were up 3-1 in the series is such a bad look. Like, talk about sour grapes in that moment.
Yeah.
Like, just, dude. You had a 3-1 series lead. You guys couldn't make a shot to save your life in the end of Game 6 and Game 7. How many looks did they have? I want to say, Pritchard had a wide-open 3 late in Game 7. Like, they created so many chances that nobody could buy a shot.
Pritchard saying Joel Embiid coming back doesn't change anything for them.
That did not age well.
That did not age well for
Still
our guy
a great
PP.
year for 8 Mile.
Yeah.
For Fast PP, it was a great year for him, but for those little moments in the quote, not great in the series.
Very quickly, we didn't get to it, but I didn't want anybody to text in and get mad of not getting to it. You want to talk about the Mariners this weekend? Or
you guys are in Seattle tonight, I think, right? Or are they in Atlanta?
Ooh, good question.
I think you guys are playing the I don't know if it starts tonight, but I think you're playing the M's this week.
Well, I mean, Did you see what Chris Sale did, by the way, over the weekend?
No, I did
7
not.
innings pitch, 11 Ks.
Baseball's dead to me.
Oh, really?
I'm a college baseball fan now.
Are you?
We got Mashers. We beat the Huskies this weekend, I know that.
Oh, okay.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
we're at Seattle.
You're in Seattle?
I looked at the schedule, too, by the way, since it was May the 4th. I'm like, dude, dressing up as Chewbacca in a Braves outfit would have been stellar for my life.
Walking around Safeco tonight?
If I just had a Chewy mask with my Acuna jersey, even though he's on the IL, that would have been great.
I was playing golf with my brother-in-law yesterday. He was a diehard M's fan. He was tracking the game from his phone. You could hear a sense of disappointment and concern. Although the saving grace for them is that the A's are in first place.
Their division sucks and the AL large sucks.
You're going to be fine. You're going to be all right.
Except Cal Raleigh got hurt.
That's not good.
Can I watch this game or am I going to blacked out?
You were blacked out. You would not be able to watch
Even with my Braves package?
Nope. Oh, Braves packet?
I have the Braves package.
That's a good question. I don't know.
Yeah,
if you had at bat, you would not be able to watch it, but if it's just Braves, probably still no, but I don't know that for certain.
I'm going to be pissed off if I miss the series.
Tell me about it, dude.
If we lose it, they're going to throw it right back in my face next couple days. Hey, you know what tomorrow is?
Get you one of these.
Taco Tuesday! Cinco de Mayo!
Tomorrow is Cinco de Mayo.
And Taco Tuesday!
On a Taco Tuesday. Dude, it hit it.
We got a party.
We got a 4th of July on a Saturday this year, too.
Oh, life is good,
Let's
Andrew.
go, baby. That'll do it for us, folks. Thanks so much for being a part of our Monday. If you missed the show, go check the podcast, 1051thefan.com. At Sprague at 1080 or 1051 The Fan on Twitter. We'll tweet it out here as soon as we are done. Hope you had a great weekend. We will talk to you tomorrow at 6 a.m. The Firm, Harrison Meringue is next. Listen to 1051 FM The Fan.